But there's also the chance that the one person you can count on for a lifetime, the one person who knows you sometimes better than you know yourself, is the same person who's been standing beside you all along.
And that's the damn truth. Welcome back to my sister's favorite movie podcast. Woo woo!
Woo! We have been talking for the last 30 minutes and haven't been recording. So we're pros. I'm a pro at this.
We start again, but we're coming at you live at 8:15 in the morning. We previously were coming at you live, we thought we were, at 7:50 in the morning, but nevertheless, she persisted. Now we're here.
Yeah. We're here.
It is July 5th, so we just celebrated the 4th of July. Maggie did some pool days. How was your pooling?
The pool was good. I just laid out in the sun. I was there all day for 2 days and just enjoyed the vibes, really. No sunburn. Put on lots of sunscreen. And yeah, it was so nice.
What were you reading by the pool?
So I'm reading this book called The Caged Lion, and it's about Joseph Pilates. Or it's written by this guy that knew and practiced with Joseph Pilates, and I'm halfway through right now. I'm like, it started with him meeting Joseph Pilates, taking his classes, and I think it's gonna go into Joseph Pilates has just passed, and like, where does his work go now? And I think he's gonna get into like studios opening around the world and like how Pilates has changed the game and health and wellness. It's really good. And he talked about how like novel Pilates was. It was called Contrology back then. But he talked about how novel it was because they're like, I know. I'm like, when are we gonna shift to just calling it Pilates? Because they don't call it that at all.
Probably
it's like
after he dies.
Yeah. But what was I gonna? Oh, he was talking about how it was like there was no like physical therapy work or like jobs, like things like that. So people just like didn't know like what Pilates was or like what it was good for because physical therapy wasn't super a thing. And
I was just looking up Contrology because I was like, I need to see that it was actually called this, and it's like. So when you do your Pilates training, you're going through the original 34 exercises.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys focus on? Do you learn anything outside of the original 34, or is that what you guys are learning?
No, that's what we're learning.
Can you add anything, or is that like a no-no?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like to get your certification, you just have to like know the foundation. And then like as you like explore your practice and everything, you can enhance those things. But it's like as long as you know like the original moves, you can teach a Pilates class. Like you have to like hit.
He was born in 1883.
Yeah, and he like left Germany and his family behind in like the 40s or something. And it said he avoided military duty. So I was like, okay. So he like left, I guess, during World War II and like moved to America. And he became a U.S. citizen. Apparently he does have like documentation. But other than that, he like lived off the grid, like no bank account. When he never married his wife, so no marriage certificate. No, he never filed taxes on his business. They like people only paid in cash. He paid all of his bills in cash. It's weird.
He never. So wait, but he called her his wife.
Yeah, and like it was like after he died, she was like, "Yeah, we weren't married," and he's like, "Well," like the guy who wrote the book was a lawyer and like became her lawyer to help her like tie up any loose ends, and that's when he found out all this stuff about Joseph Pilates, and he was like, "Oh," and she was like, "Yeah,
what
no
were
marriage."
We doing now?
Yeah, he's kind of like, "Oh, this guy's weird," but
not because of the marriage thing, but just because of all the other things.
Yeah, no, and like she showed up. He was like, "Come, bring me all of your paperwork, and I'll like help you sort everything." And like she showed up with like nothing and like a gun. And she was like, this was his gun. I don't want the gun. And he was like, holy crap. And he was talking about like how hard it was to have a gun in New York City in that time, and like he was scared to like have it in his possession. And then there was like a week of amnesty from the government in New York being like, if you have an undeclared gun, you can bring it in, no questions asked, and like surrender it and you won't be punished. And he like took it in. He was like, this wasn't mine, but I don't want it.
Oh my God, what the heck?
And apparently it was like a really nice gun, like the kind like James Bond uses or something. And the police officer was like, oh, this is a nice gun.
Ugh.
But yeah, and like, and she was like, oh, he was like, where's your marriage certificate? And she was like, oh, we were never married. And then he found out all this other stuff about Joseph Pilates, like not paying his taxes and not having a bank account, not this and that, and business license, like none of it. And he was like, well, at least she's like, they don't have a marriage certificate, so she's not like legally bound to any of these issues, which is good.
You were talking about it before about how they like slept on like reformers or like Pilates equipment and stuff, and I'm literally, or like their house was like that type of furniture. I'm literally looking at pictures of him in his home, and this is like some freaky deaky.
Oh, I know.
Stuff. I'm gonna be looking into this more later because it's giving freaky deaky.
He was very intense, and like the guy that wrote the book said like he only wanted to talk about his work.
Oh,
like he only like the guy would try to deviate and be like, so tell me about yourself, and he would just ignore him and keep talking about his work. And he said that like sometimes when they would hang out at night, like he would come over and have dinner with them, and then the guy would be like, Joseph Pilates would be like, let's go for a walk. And then they would walk to Central Park and walk through Central Park, and he would just be pointing out people. He'd be like, oh, you see how that guy's walking? He needs this done. If he would just come to me for one session, he wouldn't walk like that anymore. Or like, you see how she's hunched over? Probably in a year from now, her doctor is going to tell her she has this. But if she came and did this exercise with me, she wouldn't have that issue. You see that woman? If she did my exercises, her breast would be perkier. Like all this stuff. And the guy would just be like, the guy walking with him would just be like, okay, I don't know.
He sounds like a bit of a creep, but he obviously invented Pilates.
Yeah, and they just said like he was just so focused. Like when women would be doing their exercises, like he wasn't like leering or anything. He was like very just like, what are their muscles doing? Why are they moving like this? Like, let's fix it. Like he was just so intense about his work.
Is the guy who wrote the book still alive?
I think so. He lives in Santa Barbara or somewhere in California.
Interesting. Okay, I have to look into this more later.
Yeah, but it's a good read, and it's interesting to learn the foundation of the thing that I'm training.
Well, I'm excited for you. I know you have training again next week.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
No, it's going to be good. I said it earlier. Said a lot of this earlier, but I said it earlier. I think it'll just get better each time. Like you just like build up and it becomes more comfortable every time. Also, like I feel like you were being so hard on yourself last time, and it's like you've never taught Pilates before. That was literally your first day of training. Like obviously it's going to be uncomfortable. It just gets more, you get more with time, you know?
I know.
Each time it gets better.
I think it's like I was talking to Dad about it, and it's like I know that when it's time for me to instruct, I'm going to be on it, you know? Because it's it's like I think about, it's like the same with any work presentation or like when I worked at Disney, like when it's time for me to be on, I like turn it on. But it's like when I'm prepping and stuff, it's like I'm just absorbing everything.
And I think that's normal. Like I think a lot of people are like that, and they're not like it's more people talk about this all the time. It's more uncomfortable to do something in a group of like 5 than to do something in a group of like 100, you know? Like it's just like when you're on the stage to do something, it kicks in to just perform in that way versus like trying to teach a class to like your fellow trainees in like a casual setting. Like it's not, your instincts aren't naturally going to like teach how you would teach to like a proper formal class.
I know. And it's like,
that's just like human nature.
I don't know. But yeah. So I have training and it was good. Or it's going, I have training next week, and I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, and I have a lot of studying to do this week, so I'll be busy.
You can teach me ab series tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Pilates.
What'd you do on the 4th?
I, on the 3rd, went to the beach, got a little sunburnt, so I'm a little crispy. It's on the back of my knees, which like hurts really bad, actually. Yeah, but I did that on the 3rd, and then on the 4th, kind of had like a random day. Actually, I had a vision that I didn't achieve, but I went to a coffee shop that I'd been wanting to try. It was not good, so I won't share. They have another location, and I feel like the other location might be more of a hit than this one, but the one I went to, not great. And I got this breakfast burrito, and I didn't finish it, so I got a box to go. And then I was like, honestly, I don't even want this. But it came with a curry aioli that I had put in the box that exploded all over my bag and got all over everything. So everything smells like curry aioli right now. So that was like tragic. But the reason I went to this coffee shop was because I was going to go to the Morgan Library because they have an exhibit right now about tarot cards. But then
cool.
Once I did all that, I was like, I got the aioli all over me. I was just like, I can't do this. So then I went home, did a lot of cleaning, and I watched a little bit of Pretty Little Liars. And then last night I ordered barbecue and watched Bride Wars and prepped for today's episode. And then like barely even heard any fireworks, but like shout out to the fireworks that they were happening. I don't know. Wednesday was like pretty chill. Wait, I don't even think we addressed in this round. The reason we're recording so early is because I have a facial and Prue has her office hours.
Windows.
Prue will only be quiet from like 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. and p.m. So we're working with a.m. today. And that's the vibe on that. On that note, should we address the Madison Square Garden shaped elephant in the room?
Yeah, Taylor Swift just got married.
Shout out to TNT. I didn't see any of the wedding festivities because I was not around Madison Square Garden, but I obviously followed along closely on social media. And if you weren't invited to the Taylor Swift wedding and you're a celebrity, that's embarrassing because literally everyone who's anyone was there.
Yeah.
Like over 1,000 people. So I enjoyed following along. I am excited to see more leaks of what was going on inside, but it sounds like a big night. We had Stevie Nicks and Paul McCartney perform. It sounds like there was some karaoke at the after party. Sabrina Carpenter did karaoke. Taylor Swift walked down the aisle to a Bridgertonified version of Love Story, her own song. There's a lot of like Taylor Swift's own music paraphernalia throughout the wedding. Like the party favor was a handkerchief that said like, so it's going to be forever from Blank Space. So she was leaning into her discography for sure.
I know.
So that was Taylor Swift's wedding. I'm happy
I wanted
for
to put
her.
my theory out there. Like I'm patenting this theory. Nobody can take it. It's trademark. It's copyrighted.
Yeah.
But I bet that they filmed the wedding, and I think it's going to be released in theaters.
I think that's right, because she's done that with so many of her, like she did it with Eras. She obviously had like the Miss Americana one. And I feel like we got like the perfect amount of leaks. Like we know enough to be really intrigued. Like there was like a castle, there was this big dinner. Everyone has been like, you would have no idea it's Madison Square Garden when you got inside. So it's like, we have enough information that now I'm like, well, I want to see the whole thing. And apparently there was an Alice in Wonderland themed after party, which obviously I, of course, want to know about. Love Alice in Wonderland. So I think like they've given us enough information to make a movie do well if she did record like a documentary style of like
Well, yeah,
the
and
wedding
obviously
everything.
I think anybody would be sad to go watch it. Like I'm
I
not
would be
like
there.
a Swiftie, but I would be there because it's interesting, it's iconic. It's basically our Princess Diana, Kate Middleton royal wedding.
Yeah. I mean, kinda, yeah.
What do you think about, have you been seeing, I just thought of this and I was like, oh, hey Mabel. She comes out of nowhere. She is silent.
She's sneaky. Sneaky cat.
People on TikTok were like, I feel so bad for the hairstylist who has to do this, or like, which friend of Taylor's is going to softly tell her like, you need to side sweep your bangs or do something different with your bangs, cut back your bangs for your wedding, put extensions in so you don't have bangs. And I'm like, what is this weird discourse about her bangs? Like, I feel like I see it all the time and people are like, who's going to tell Taylor Swift that her bangs are not it? And I'm like, what are we talking about? She's had bangs for years.
People
they
don't
look
like the
good on
bangs.
her.
She's like always had bangs. I think like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't
It's
really care.
so
Like,
weird.
I'm just
And I'm
do
like,
whatever you
I would
want.
be like, I feel like it's her look now. So like, and I like the bangs. I think they're pretty. And I like the color of her hair. So I'm just like, homegirl feels herself in this hairstyle. She's going to want to feel herself on her wedding. She's not like, I bet she had bangs. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure she had bangs. I'm just not pressed about it because to me, like, Taylor Swift exists in a category of her own where she is not like dressing or styling herself to like the modern standard that every other celebrity seems to be abiding by.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Taylor Swift just does her own thing. And so like I've never looked at her and been like, that's so on trend, or like she gets it. Like she's doing her own thing.
I know.
So I just don't worry about it.
I know, like when she's on the red carpet and stuff and people are like, oh, she's so chuggy, or like when she goes out to dinners in New York or whatever and they're like, her clothing is so chuggy. I'm like, I don't even know if it's chuggy. It's just like an amalgamation of stuff. And it's just like, that's how Taylor Swift dressed. Like, whatever.
It's truly a category of her own. Like, and I don't mean that in a super positive or negative way. I just mean it
Me neither.
neutrally. Like, it just is. And like, I don't ever look at it. I always look at it and I'm like, that's so interesting that someone's making that right now. Like, I just like don't see other people wear clothes like this. Like, I'm like, what designer is making that? Again, not in a negative or positive way, just like totally neutral. Probably in a more negative way, don't necessarily look at her ever and think like, I want to wear that. It's just not my style. Her style is not my style. But like, she is Taylor Swift, and that's a good thing. Like,
yeah.
Her
and
style,
I feel
her
like
vibe.
she's like the epitome of a shout out to I feel like she's the epitome of celebrity. Like, she's unattainable. She dresses differently than the normal person. Like, she's supposed to be like not a character, but she's just other. Like, she's
Truly
not
in her
us.
own lane.
She's not supposed to be like us.
Yeah.
So just let her be Taylor Swift. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's
I don't know
Taylor
why
Swifting.
I'm even on that TikTok side, because I'm not a Swiftie. So like, I don't look up stuff, and I'm just like, ah.
But you do like Taylor Swift stuff. Like, you wanted to go to Eras.
I did want to go to Eras. And I saw her when she came to Savannah back in like Teardrops on My Guitar, Love Story days.
So good. So good. Yeah, I remember that concert. And she was like, I'm going to sing some unreleased music off my new album, Fearless. And I was like, don't sing Fearless. Sing the songs we know. But now it's like, Fearless is one of the best albums ever, obviously. But I didn't know it at the time. But we're happy for Taylor and Travis, and we're wishing them a lifelong happy marriage. But speaking of weddings, Maggie, it ain't June and it ain't the Plaza. Today we're talking Bride Wars.
Bride Wars, woo!
Shout out to Bride Wars, one of the most iconic movies of all time. I really enjoyed watching this movie. a bit of a description. I'm gonna walk you through all the details on Bride Wars. Okay, so this is the Amazon Prime description. As always, succinct. A simple clerical error ignites an all-out war between two inseparable friends over their conflicting wedding dates. Correct.
Simple clerical error. No. Ugh. Okay.
Kind of, because the lady books them wrong. Okay, I'm gonna give you like a quick description of the film for those who are listening and haven't seen it. Bride Wars follows two gals. We have Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway playing Liv and Emma. They are best friends since childhood. They grew up together. Their moms would take them to tea at the plaza, and they like really had a great time going to the plaza. They saw a wedding there in June. They were obsessed with the idea of this wedding. And then Liv's parents, so Kate Hudson's character Liv, her parents die when she's young. So she has this tragedy that shapes her how she is. She's very like hardworking. She's a lawyer, kind of a hardo. She has a brother. That's her tale. Then we have Emma, Anne Hathaway's character. She's a teacher. She's vibing in New York City. Whatever. They both really want to get married at the plaza. They're both in long-term relationships, so like they know it's coming up. So Kate Hudson, Liv, finds a ring in her apartment from her man, realizes she's getting engaged. She's really excited. And then before she can get actually proposed to, Anne Hathaway's character, Emma, gets proposed to, gets engaged. Ultimately, they get engaged at the same time. They both want to get married in June at the plaza. That is their lifelong dream. So they go to this iconic wedding planner, played by Candice Bergen. How do you say it?
Bergen. I think.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Candice Bergen, they go to her. Her name's Marion Sinclair. They set up their wedding. It's perfect. They have one date that's Liv's parents' anniversary and another date in June. They each book their dates. Off they go.
Prue's birthday.
The vibes are vibing. Oh, was it Prue's birthday? June 27th?
June 27th. Somewhere in time day.
Oh my God, I didn't even clock. Okay, shout out to June 27th. So it just happened. And then they go their separate ways. Then we come to find out Marion's assistant has booked their weddings on the same day. Obviously, they're each other's maids of honor. They're each other's besties. So they're kind of fucked. Essentially, they say, we'll decide who's going to switch the date because they think they are under the belief, which I kind of agree, basically, that's the only fix is for someone to change their date. They're both pretty immovable, and when Anne Hathaway's character Emma decides she is going to change her date, she then hears from her man that Liv and her man are out doing their save the dates, and this is what like spirals the fight because Emma is like, well, you have to know your date to send out your save the date. So she's gone behind my back and essentially said she's not moving her date. This is the date of the wedding, period. She's moving forward. So that really pisses her off and starts this whole fight. And so they're just like basically the rest of the movie trying to fuck with each other's weddings and mess up each other's weddings. And then by the end, we have the resolution, which we'll discuss in a bit. But that is basically the setup for Bride Wars.
Very good. Perfect.
Thank you. And I pulled the description from the back of the DVD if you want to hear it. They pulled it from the Maryland Gazette, so it's like they didn't even like write this description. They pulled it from like a.
And what is the Maryland?
Review.
Oh, Maryland, like the place.
Like,
I was like,
yeah,
who is
Maryland?
Maryland? Maryland. I was like, who's Maryland and what's her Gazette?
No,
But
literally. Maryland. They said, lifelong best friends Liv and Emma have shared a dream since childhood. Each yearns for the perfect June wedding at New York's famed Plaza Hotel. But when a clerical error puts them both down for nuptials on the same day at the same time, one of them will just have to switch the date, right? As if, ew, more from the bouquet goes flying when these desperate brides-to-be duke it out for matrimonial supremacy. Full of fun, fashion, and heartwarming moments, Bride Wars will keep you laughing all the way down the aisle. And then they put a quote from US Weekly that says, a treat rivals last summer's Sex and the City. So this came out after Sex and the City, the movie. Okay, so that's the description. Timing-wise, crazy. So that's the description of the movie. I'm going to walk you through all the details. Did you research this in depth, or am I going to be like surprising you with information?
I've researched a little bit. Like I have stuff to say about the wedding dresses.
Okay, great. Okay. So, Bride Wars was released January 9th, 2009. So, for context, we've covered Confessions of a Shopaholic on this podcast. That came out a month later in February. So, we're in that era. So, the movie stars Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson, obviously. For boys, we have Chris Pratt and Steve Howey. Steve Howey, Kate Hudson would go on to be in Something Borrowed with him as well. And then we have Brian Greenberg, who plays Kate Hudson's character's Liv's brother. Then we have Kristen Johnston as the teacher at Anne Hathaway's school, Emma's school. Her character's funny.
She's a kook.
She was sending me. So she basically becomes the maid of honor to Emma when her and Liv are in their big fight. And she's so funny. So,
I know, and I used to be like, God, this character's so annoying. But it's like once you get into the vibes of the character, you're like, this bitch is funny. And she's so weird.
She's so funny and weird. And also her like redeeming moment at the end is so good. When
I know.
Like, Emma's like, whatever, we'll talk about it. So good.
Yeah.
And then Candace Bergen as the wedding planner, Mary Sinclair. Okay.
You know what I realized on this rewatch that I've never realized before?
What?
Candace Bergen, Kristen Johnston, Sex and the City reunion.
Oh my God, so true.
Splat.
Yeah, no one has fun anymore.
Yeah, whatever happened to fun?
She's in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot.
I know. I forgot too until last night. I was like, oh, snap.
That's a really good shout. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bride Wars was written by Greg DePaul, Casey Wilson, and June Diane Raphael. Casey and June are in the movie. So June plays the bride that they're at her wedding at the beginning when they're like, it ain't June and it ain't the plaza, and who eventually gets divorced. And then Casey plays the bride that they're trying to switch the dates with. So they were the
that's so funny.
Two main writers on the movie with this guy, Greg DePaul. The movie was directed by Gary Winnick, who also did 13 Going on 30 and Charlotte's Web. So he's kind of in this genre. Costume designer, we had Karen Patch, but also Vera Wang for the gowns, which we'll talk about a little more, it sounds like, later, from if you have some deets on that. And then it grossed $115.4 million worldwide, so it was pretty successful. I think it had like a $30 million budget, so it did really well in the box office. So this movie, I had no idea any of this information, so this was fun for me to look into. This movie was in the works for 6 years. So Greg DePaul, who was one of the screenwriters, approached Kate Hudson kind of like around How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days timing, and he pitched her the meeting just like verbally. He had a clipboard and he was like pitching it to her. He didn't have a script, but he was like, this is what it's going to be. And she was into it and like fully backed it. So she was a producer on the movie. And I think this was like one of her first producing credits. And she's talked about it a lot, that it was like, she learned a lot from doing this movie. And it was like a long journey because it took like 6 years to do from the time it got pitched to finally getting it out there. So that's like pretty long. A long process. And she was like on board from the beginning that she was going to be in it. But what happened with this movie was that it was supposed to be really, really raunchy. It was going to be rated R. It was going to be rated R. And Kate Hudson has talked about this a lot, that like her vision was to make the female wedding crashers. And she was like, there is a multi-billion-dollar wedding industry and women will enjoy making fun of it because they have been like traumatized by the way it's set up, and we can make this like really funny. So they had a script. It was rated R fully, and it was going to be like super inappropriate. And it was bought by Miramax, but it sounds like Miralax. Miramax bought it in 2005. So the movie came out in 2009. So that's like, this was a pre-buy in 2005 that Kate Hudson like managed basically. But then Miramax went through this big restructuring. So the movie got sold or sent to New Regency and 20th Century Fox. And when it got there, the team there was basically like, we can't have we can't have this movie be rated R. You have to do PG-13. And then in the process of that, they came back and they were like, no, actually, we need to go even lower. It needs to be PG. So that just like completely changed what the movie was. And
Wow.
Kate Hudson said, like, I think it's something that's very disappointing to her now because she has actually, I watched a lot of interviews and she's talked about this a lot. And like, even super recently, like in the last couple of years, she's been like, we had an amazing script and it's like really sad to me that that didn't get made. But at every point in the journey, she was just like, I still want to make this movie. Like, I think we can still make a good movie at a PG rating, but it's not what it was supposed to be. And she said in a quote, she said, we were ahead of the curve. I sometimes wish we could put out that original script because it was so deeply funny. And her framing was that they had they beat Bridesmaids. Like they had Bridesmaids. They could have had
that's what I was
Bridesmaids. And so Bridesmaids came out like 2 years later. And so I think Kate Hudson is like pretty disappointed about that they kind of had, you know, this movie that could have been the Bridesmaids. But I still think it's a great movie, but I would be interested to see what the raunchier version is. That being said, a Bride Wars TV show is currently in the works, produced by Emma Roberts, who is also producing the new Aquamarine show. Shout out to that. And this was announced this year, actually. So super recent. I think I kind of knew about this, but maybe forgot about it. But that'll be interesting if it does. If it's raunchier. So that is in the works. And
that's so weird because I saw like some IMDb trivia that said that the movie was originally conceived as a teen comedy.
Oh.
I don't know how, but with Emma Roberts as Liv and Nikki Reed as Emma.
Huh.
And I'm like, is that information wrong? Because I was like, how would it be a teen comedy?
I wonder if that's the version that's coming out. Because this is Emma Roberts.
I know.
Weird. We'll have to look into that a little more.
Unless it was going to be like the demographic was going to be younger, like young brides, like right out of college or something.
Well, I mean, then Emma Roberts was like 13,
18,
14.
19?
No, she was
in
young.
2000?
She was like maybe she was like 14 or 15.
Interesting. Yeah, then I don't know how Bride Awards would have been a teen movie.
Yeah. Maybe they're talking about the show is going to be more for, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. There was a version of Bride Wars made in 2015 in China that is the same story. And Kate Hudson also produced that one. So
that's cute.
That's interesting. Some historical context for you. The top song, two of the most popular songs at the time were I Got a Feelin' and Poker Face. Poker Face, Poker Face. Yeah. Then, as we talked about before on this pod, the number one TV show at the time was American Idol. But for a little extra spice, I threw this in there. This was the year that Modern Family debuted.
Love.
So that was exciting.
Like one of my favorites.
And then, as we talked about with Confessions, the U.S. is at an interesting time. We're coming off a recession. It doesn't sound like the recession really played a role in how this movie was received. It played a huge role in Confessions of a Shopaholic because that was too touchy at the time to talk about spending. But it really didn't come into play with this movie at all. But that's just where we were.
I know, because they never talk about how much anything. They never talk about how much anything is costing, and when she hands over a check to pay for the plaza, that whole I went back to see if I could see how much it was, but it's totally blurred out, and it doesn't even look like there was anything under it filled in. So the money factor is not part of this fairy tale that we're watching.
No, they don't really talk about it. The only part they talk about is when Emma is maybe the one who saves her date shouldn't be the one that's saved her whole life to have this wedding.
Yeah.
And doesn't make as much money as the other one. So that they kind of talk about it in that sense. Okay, I'm going to go through the reviews really quickly. I mean, just as expected, people ripped this movie a new one because it's about women and we can't have anything be about women. So,
well, see, it's I don't even know what you're going to say yet, but it's the things I saw was either this is just female fluff, or it's like feminist women, like shout out being a feminist, but feminists who tear other women down, no. And they were just like, this movie is the worst at being a woman and blah, blah, blah. It's so embarrassing. And I'm like,
I think this movie's really good. I have a lot to say about it. We just like don't let women exist in the gray area. It's just like you're either like it's fluffy and it's awful, or it's like so like
anti-progressive, blah, 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 maybe. I don't think
it's
so.
like it's either, yeah, I don't know. Or it's like, oh, this is just fluff for women, ew. Or it's like, women always hate men. And it's like, no, there's something in between. This movie's not even about the men. I'll get into it. Anyway, 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is like one of our worst. But fuck Rotten Tomatoes. You guys are sick in the head for this one. This movie's really good. Okay. Leave it to the New York Times to be hating on a woman. The review was so negative. I was almost like shocked because the Confessions of a Shopaholic review was like less negative than this. Okay. So this is from the New York Times. Do Hollywood studio executives think that women have a gene for tool neural receptors just for Vera Wang? I wondered this as I watched Bride Wars, a dopey, if largely painless romantic comedy with Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway as best friends who turn into best enemies forever because of a wedding day glitch. Ugh, whatever. A reasonable person might suggest a double wedding, as one of the male characters does. As far as I can tell, however, both Liv and Emma are deeply unreasonable because they are female stereotypes. Unreasonableness is built into their character arcs. A double wedding is fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Like, you can't even...
She says in the movie something like, what are we, like, 40-year-old twin sisters? And it's like, yeah. Like, a double wedding is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Like, you want to be able to celebrate each other appropriately and, like, not steal each other's shine and, like, let the people who want to celebrate her come to her and not be forced to sit through your stuff, too.
And it's like she says in the movie, like, we've done everything together our whole lives. Our whole lives are wrapped up in existing with each other. It's nice to have your own day.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I mean, that part kind of gets on my nerves, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this review, I don't even want to, like, read all
Is
of this.
this review written by a man or a woman?
I can't remember. Hang on, let me look.
Okay. Because I think that either way, it's problematic, but it shapes my understanding, too.
And this review was written by a woman. So just keep that in mind.
What a shame. It's definitely a woman who at the time was probably in a male-dominated field and is just appealing to the men that work with her, whatever.
Yeah. So she essentially goes on to say that, like, the wedding plot is one of the few storylines that female actresses could have at the time in Hollywood to get screen time, which I don't think is necessarily true. And then she goes on to describe all of these movies that were coming out at the time being like, see, the wedding plot is everything. And she includes Enchanted, Sex and the City, Mamma Mia, 27 Dresses, and Maid of Honor. And I'm like, I guess in a way, but like Sex and the City, like,
the wedding is just the impetus to the rest of the story.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'd had, like, 6 seasons of this. Like, we knew where we were going, so, like, that's not even fair. Enchanted, like, what?
I guess. Yeah, I'm like, that is also the impetus to the rest of the story. It's, like, the bookends of that story. It's not the story.
I was like, 27 Dresses is your closest one, but, like...
And like Mamma Mia, like, well, and then it makes me think like, okay, so what? It's like we have built a culture around saying that this is the most important event that happens in a woman's life besides like having children. So it's like, yeah. And then also it's an excuse to create a storyline where there's a bunch of people in the cast. So a lot of characters, and the clothing is going to be interesting because people like to see wedding dresses. It's like, and it involves family, which middle America loves. So it's just all the ingredients are there to create a compelling story for female audiences.
Yeah, like,
so sorry that that's what our culture is built on, that's what's important to women.
And I think that's what Kate Hudson was saying too, is like, for better or for worse, women have been forced their whole lives to think about this and be like look at the wedding industry. So it's like it's something that's going to be universally understood to a lot of women.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's probably a bad thing in a lot of ways, but that's the point of this movie. Like, duh. Anyway.
Yeah,
okay.
it's brought out like an ugly side of them.
So
Whatever.
that was the times. I don't know. I just like, I can't with these reviewers who are ripping these movies apart. And I think it's so of the time. Like, I just don't know that we would review them this way now, because like all we want now is like positivity and like fun movies like this. And this movie just like got ripped apart.
Yeah, we just want women to celebrate their womanhood and to luxuriate in the things that they enjoy without anyone tearing them down. I would be interested to see if this reporter stands by her review still or not.
Yeah, I should reach out.
Should we call her up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, we have some problems with your review. What?
Her name's Manola.
Hey, Manola. So we saw this like crap ass review you wrote in the New York Times. Do you still think it's good?
It's probably like one of her favorite movies.
Yeah. She's like, honestly, I watch it all the time.
We had a more positive review from Time. So another big publication. And a woman wrote this. She said, even though the catfighting goes over the top, the notion that a passionate female friendship can turn ugly in a heartbeat is sadly realistic. Women friends have a sharp sense of one another's soft underbelly, and what we love about our best girlfriends can easily be turned into ammunition following a betrayal. This is exactly right. Women, like men don't actually know, like,
their butts.
Like a female friendship, like a woman can hit you where it hurts. Like, she knows your biggest insecurity, and she can like, it's like in the movie when she's like, your wedding is going to be huge, just like your ass at prom. It's like, oh, it's on. Like you've started
what makes
war.
her tick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I thought that review was really good. And Anne Hathaway talked about this a lot in interviews, that because I think Anne Hathaway was like nervous about this movie before she read the script, of like if it was going to be too fluffy. And I think that part of the movie was something that stuck with her, because it's like very telling of female friendships, that like, you know how to get at each other. And that's what's kind of interesting about this movie, is like these girls know how to really like mess with
like
each
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the rest of the review, that was just like the most unique thing that stood out to me. But the rest of the review was pretty positive. Like, she liked the movie. She thought there was some fluff, but she thought it was like a fun watch. However, Time has since put the movie on its like, what is it? It's top 10 worst chick flicks list, which I'm like, LOL, your reviewer gave it a good review. So you guys aren't even like sticking to like what you're saying.
Yeah, whoa.
So that's stupid. A lot of I looked at some other reviews, nothing like stood out to me in a big way, but the biggest commentary across the board was like, people were annoyed by the amount of wedding movies at the time, which again, I feel like they're all very different watching them now, but like maybe if they were all coming out at the time. I wonder if it is a response to Wedding Crashers.
Well, it's so interesting that you pointed out all, because I was like, what are they talking about? And then you like said all those movies. I was like, huh, that is so true. Well, and, you know, I think it could have been a response to Wedding Crashers, but it might, because Wedding Crashers could just be in this genre too, but for men, and it might just be a response to all of the wedding TV shows that were on, like Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah, like I feel like there are a lot of wedding plot movies. Some of the other ones around this time that they mentioned: License to Wed, Margot at the Wedding, Evening, Enchanted, Heartbreak Kid, Sex and the City, Mamma Mia, 27 Dresses, Maid of Honor. So like, yeah, there's a lot of movies built on the wedding plot. Mamma Mia, it's like, that's not the point. Like, Mamma Mia has existed. Like, they're not following a trend with the wedding story. Like, that musical has existed for years. I wonder if there's something to like. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, the demographic is probably like 18 to 35 or something, and that's like prime time for people getting married. So that plot is in the forefront of people's minds too. So it might just be like appealing to those audiences to go see stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking like I don't know if this would match up timing. It definitely doesn't with this movie, but like some of these others, if there was something to like the recessionary time as well, like maybe people weren't having weddings or they were postponing their weddings until like they were more financially secure. So like these movies are kind of like,
Fairy
you
tales.
know, looking at
It's
weddings and like just I don't know, maybe that's like a far reach, but like just something that feels a little more celebratory at a time that felt like when people were in kind of like in a financial struggle.
yeah.
Just a thought. So that was that. However, this movie, as many of our movies have, has had a comeback. People love this movie. The girls watched this movie growing up. It's a nostalgic classic for people. There's tons of TikToks about it, people watching it. A lot of like me watching this the night before my wedding, or I just got engaged, I had to turn this on. A lot of that, which I think is peak girlhood. And it was on Netflix and it had a resurgence on Netflix. It was within the top 10 streamed films on Netflix in November 2025. So super recent. So shout out to Bride Wars. That's the setup. Now, or that's the background on the movie.
So, Emily, why did you pick this movie for us this week?
I picked
Why
this
is this
movie.
your favorite movie of the
It
week?
actually is one of my favorite movies. And it's so good. Like, I picked it because, well, I picked it because I wanted to do Something Borrowed, which is a 4th of July movie in my mind. But I know you really don't like that movie, so I'm saving it for when I feel like you'll be ready. But this felt equally summery. It's really funny. It feels like true to our core of the types of movies that we love. And I just love this movie. I feel it's so funny. It did not get its flowers. I don't think people recognize how like funny this movie is. Kate Hudson talked about it. She was like, "We're not comedians, but like this is meant to be a funny movie." And I feel like it really is. And I enjoyed it. I feel like upon what, because in my head I was like rom-com, rom-com. It's really not a rom-com.
Yeah,
And
that was one of my questions. Like, do you consider this movie a rom-com?
I don't consider it a rom-com. I consider it a comedy. But Kate Hudson actually talked about this in an interview. She said it's not a rom-com, it's a buddy comedy. It's a love story about girlfriends, which I was going to pose the question to you, which you asked me on Uptown Girls. Is this one of the best movies about female friendship?
I think it's one of those ones that is so true to life because I think we've all been in friendships where you like have a fight like this and like we were talking about like you just know what makes the other person tick and you can't have these like glorious awful fights with your best friend because you have so much ammunition. And like,
Mm-hmm.
do you come out on the other side as friends or are friendships over? It's very like, it's very that kind of genre. And I think it is one of the great friendship movies with
I
a
think
happy ending.
it really does a good job with female friendship. I saw a really sad TikTok that a girl had posted like a clip of this movie and she was like, when you grew up on movies like this, like where friends have these big fights and then they come back together. Meanwhile, in real life, like one thing happens and like friendship over. And I was like, yeah, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Like, for sure.
So that's why I picked the movie. And okay, I broke us down into sections to kind of discuss. I feel like I want to talk about like the setup of this movie. So it shows them when they're little girls to kind of like depict what they were like, why they liked weddings. Perfect.
How was the casting for that little girl playing Kate Hudson's character?
Both were spot
I was like, holy crap, that looks like a little Kate Hudson.
And that girl,
amazing
that girl,
casting.
Yeah, the casting's really good on the little girls. And I feel like the setup is so good because you learn everything you need to know from the one moment when Emma is like, next time can I play the bride? And Liv's like, I always play the bride. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, we know everything we need to know about their dynamic is that Liv is kind of like always getting what she wants and Emma is, the people pleaser and doing whatever. So perfect setup. Then in the setup realm, we also have the perfect setup with their two guys and what we see from the very beginning. So,
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the two proposals. So Liv's proposal, she had found the Tiffany box in the closet. So she knows her man's is proposing soon. He still hasn't done it. She goes to his office. This was fucking funny. I rewound this because I was like laughing.
I like this proposal.
She breaks into his office basically. She's like, I guess it's raining out. She like looks a mess. And she's like, do you want to marry me or not? Basically. And he's like, oh my God. Like, you just came into my hedge fund. You're interrupting my workday. But he's immediately like, you're the most like complicated, crazy, whatever woman, da 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 da. But then he's like, sexy, beautiful, smart, like blah, blah, blah. And then he proposes.
Yeah, he says something like, and if you had just waited for tonight, you would have seen I was going to propose. But then if you had waited, you wouldn't be the woman I fell in love with. So, exactly. And I was like, see, he just understands her and he loves that about her.
And she is so funny at that part when she's like,
it's so unexpected.
Are you proposing? It's so unexpected. And he's like, Liv,
shut up.
Shut up.
Yes or no?
And so like, even though it's a haphazard proposal, you see that they're in love. You see that
their connection.
He loves her antics. Like, you get they are good. Like, they're set. They're happy. Like, we get what we need to get from that. On the other hand, thoughts on... Okay, so Chris Pratt plays Fletcher. His proposal to Emma is in a fortune cookie while they're watching American Idol, the best TV show at the time. They're watching American Idol, and he proposes via fortune cookie.
I like
something I noticed from watching this movie also, and like one of the reasons I love this movie has so many of our like vocal stems in it.
Oh, I know.
It's like, you alter yourself to fit Vera. And then what was the other one? There was one. Oh my God, wait. Oh, one of my favorite parts. But he's like, he's like, it's like American Idol. You're the Paula. And she's like, but everyone listens to Simon. And he's like, I don't want to marry Simon. Marry me some Paula.
Marry me some Paula. Like me, Emily and I say both of those things often enough.
There's more. We'll get into them later that I put down that we say. But like, there's so many funny like one-liners in this movie.
I was just thinking about how like you were saying like this is one of your favorites and it's had a resurgence and all this stuff. And like, I did not know any of the history of like the reviews or anything. This movie came out when I was a senior in high school. And this movie is like just like one of my favorites. Like, I've always just thought it's like one of the greats. And I was like, oh, people didn't like this movie. It's always just been like, oh, Bride Wars. It's got the two biggest ladies in Hollywood at the time. Even now, still, they're still icons. And it's just a good movie. Like, I don't know. I just can't believe that people didn't like this movie. It's just like an easy watch. It makes you feel good. It's pretty. They're pretty. Like, what?
I think there was like something going on. Like there's I don't know, because it's like you had Kate Hudson of How to Lose a Guy. Like, for context, Kate Hudson, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, like one of the best rom-coms of all time. Like, to me, that's in the top 5. That's one of the best rom-coms ever. Anne Hathaway, she just came off of Devil Wears Prada like 3 years prior to this coming out. One of the best actresses also, and like a great women's storytelling actress, because Devil Wears Prada is not a rom-com, but just like two of the most iconic people. Like, you really have this good setup, and I feel like, I don't know what it was, if there was like an oversaturation of rom-coms and then it just like women felt like they had to hate on them, or men were hating on them enough that women then felt like they had to hate on them. Like, there was something going on, because all of these movies got really... I think Confessions is good, but that's one that I can see getting not as great of a review because it's like a little kooky. But like, this has all the pieces it needs. It's like love letter to New York, great actors and actresses, really good story. It's not just a romance. Like, that's not the point of it. It's about female friendship. Like, it has all the things that people would like.
I wonder, is there something about Gen X women that's a little more severe on your own
Their own
sex? You know,
sex. Like,
like,
yeah.
I don't
Because,
know.
and it's like, when I was looking at TikTok, I was like, people love this movie. Girls love this movie. Like, probably
So
girls
I
who
guess,
saw this with their mom or their older sister, love this movie now.
yeah.
Like, no question about it. Like, everyone
And
is
I
watching it
guess
on TikTok.
it just must be like our generation, like the young millennials and Gen Z, just don't have a problem with women being women. Like it's celebrated. Where it used to just be like, oh, if you're a girly girl, that's not good. You need to be a strong woman. And there's like no and if or buts or in betweens.
Also, it's surprising to me because, like, watching this movie, I'm like, to me, it feels very, like, multifaceted. Like, I'm like,
And
lit.
I want to say, when I say strong woman, I think it's implicit, but it's probably not implicit for people. Just like, I'm saying that you have to be a man's version, like, or you have to be a masculine feeling woman, like dominating in a masculine way when strong can be so many layers for women. I don't know. It's
Maybe
hard
it's
for me
like,
to describe. It's like
movies
you
that,
have to be a Joe, but you can also be a Meg. Like Meg is also a strong woman, just like Joe and Beth and Amy. Like they're all strong women in different types of forms.
see, Little Women was doing it first. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
that we weren't letting women have their, like, feminine intuition and feminine divine and feminine power, whatever. It was just
Yeah.
like, be like a hardo and be like a man. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
like, women have their own thing going on. I think it's interesting to me that people hated this movie so much because I'm like, to me, it's very multifaceted. Like, we have these girls who grow up together, but they're very different. Like, Liv is this high-powered lawyer. Emma is a school teacher. Like, their romantic relationships are very different. They have friend overlap, but they have their own things going on. And, like, they are wrapped up in each other's lives in this way that is going to become toxic. And they haven't ever, like, they're adults who've known each other since they were kids. They've never dealt with conflict like this. Like, how are they going to resolve it? Like, it's like, it has a dynamic plot to me. So it's interesting that people are hating on it so much. My question for you in the setup of all of this. So obviously they go to Marion and find out that like, ultimately they find out their weddings have been scheduled on the same day and they need to change. Should one of them have changed their date, and who should it have been?
Well, see, my note was when they get there and she was like, there's been an issue, I'd been like, fix it. I'm paying
True.
you. Don't bring this to me. You messed up. You go fix it.
Also,
Like,
why would it not have
you
been?
need to fucking call the plaza and get this handled.
Why would it not have gone to the other bride immediately? To be like,
Yeah.
we're so sorry, we booked you on the wrong day. You're actually June 27th.
Yeah. Like, no. That's the craziest part to me, that Kate Hudson's character Liv wouldn't have been like, okay, fix it. Like, I don't know why you're bringing me this.
Like, wouldn't they have signed a contract that was like, this is the date, you know?
Yeah. Like, they signed that paperwork. She says, okay. And then they're like, okay, those are your dates. I signed a contract saying this. This is a breach of contract. I want a refund.
Yeah, make it happen.
Yeah.
So I was watching some TikToks last night and someone pointed out something about this that I was like, oh my God, that is so true. This girl was like, she was like, I'm watching Bride Wars for the first time with my, like, prefrontal cortex fully loaded, you know, like, as an adult. Like, I'm seeing this through adult eyes. And she was like, why would their fiancés have their fiancés presumably know a lot about them, right? They're ready to be engaged.
Why would they propose so soon?
They know their dream. Both of these girls' dreams their whole life has been to get married at the plaza in June. Why the fuck would you propose 3 months before June? Godspeed to these girls figuring it out. Like, how are they going to get a wedding at the plaza in 3 months?
Well, that's interesting because I also thought about like, I was like, I feel like Liv would have been like, no, I need a year. We're going to do next June. And then
There was no dates.
we'll see. And that's just stupid to me because Marion Sinclair can magically get 2 dates in 3 months at the plaza, but she can't get another set of dates for 3 years. No.
Three dates in June, and then the next
Yeah.
one is in 3 years. Yeah, so that's crazy to me.
Stupid.
But when I saw that TikTok, I was like, that's funny actually, because that's like that is true. She was like, these
Yeah.
guys who are supposed to know them better than anyone in the world are gonna propose like 3 months before they need to do the wedding. Obviously, there's more Junes in the future to be had, but I was like, that's like a funny nugget of information.
That is
right
a good
there.
nugget.
So that's the setup of the film. The two husbands, like we discussed.
But it's funny.
we
I
know
just was
everything
looking
we
at my
know.
notes. I was just looking at my notes, and at some point I said Emma should have changed her dates. And I can't remember why I was thinking that.
I think Emma should have been the one to change the date, probably. And I hate to say that because she is the people pleaser, like the more likely one to do it. But just because Liv has the tie to her parents' anniversary.
Oh, I think that was my thing too. And it's just like, also, you and your man are not
You
compatible.
ain't it. No, you ain't it.
But yeah.
Speaking of that,
Oh, when she's like, when Anne Hathaway's character is like, you picked June 6th without even asking me. Kate Hudson's thing should have been like, that's my parents' date. Like, are you not considering that?
yeah. Oh, one of the best digs is when at the bridal shower scene when she's like, Emma, you settle, and she's like, are you saying that I'm settling with Fletcher? That sets us up too. It's like it's already in her head that she's settling. She already doesn't want to be marrying this guy in some sort of low level existing way. Like she knows. Also, I didn't point this out before. Chris Pratt plays her love interest, her fiance, whatever, Fletcher. This was the year before he would start Parks and Rec. So, like, Chris Pratt he was a nobody. Like, people, when they were seeing this movie, were like, who? I think he'd been in, like, one other thing. And obviously now he's probably, like, one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood with, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic Park, whatever. So, interesting to see him, like, pre-fame. Anyway, the antics of this movie are some of the best parts, and I'm sure where they were going to get into some more rated R content.
You were talking about, I don't mean to cut you off, but you were talking about the proposals.
Mm-hmm.
And when when Anne Hathaway and Chris Pratt get engaged, he proposes at home with the fortune cookie, blah, blah, blah. I recently saw a TikTok that was talking, so when he says something like, when we're old and we're 80 years old or something, and all we're doing is sitting here watching TV, like, that's what I want, like, that's what makes me happy, and I want to do it with you, or whatever he says. Made me think, I saw this TikTok recently, and it was like, when guys are like, I'm just happy, like, being at home, like, watching TV, dinner, like, it's so simple, like, I just want to be with my girl, like, we're at home. And they said that, they're like, that's, like, a problematic statement, because it's like their ideal situation is having to put in no effort and, like, keeping the woman inside. And I was like, ooh, interesting. And it wasn't supposed to be super like woman strapped to the kitchen or whatever. It was just more like men don't want to have to put in effort. Like, they want to be at home, and, like, they think that that is the ultimate goal, is, like, having a woman who is satisfied with not having to go do anything, and they don't have to like put in any effort. And I was like, interesting. So it just made me, like, change my mind about an at-home proposal, unless, like, you're fucking Prince Harry and we're roasting a chicken and he gets down on one knee, whatever. But, like, if a guy, like, doesn't put any, and then I was like, well, he did put in effort. Like, he obviously had to find somebody who was going to, like, put his diamond ring inside of a fortune cookie.
I hate stuff like that, though. I hate, like, food motif proposals.
Like a gimmick.
Yeah, stupid.
Well, I'm like, you're going to, like, give your ring to some stranger who's going to maybe put it in the food for you? Like, okay.
Yeah,
And
I
like
don't
when
know.
people put it in a cake, I'm like, okay, now there's cake on my diamond. Great.
Yeah, in the crevices. Yeah,
Yeah.
no food-based proposals for me. I, I would want to be proposed to outdoors,
Yeah, see, I've been
and I
leaning
want it
towards
photographed.
outdoors.
Yeah, the
So you
lighting.
want to have a photographer there. I
But
saw this
I want to
TikTok the
hit it
other
hidden,
day.
like
Well, yeah.
GoPro in a bush, you know?
Well, totally. I saw this TikTok the other day where this girl got proposed to, and then her fiance took her to, like, he had prepared, like, her family being at a venue to, like, celebrate with her afterwards. But at the venue, he had a nail artist because he was like, she might not like how her nails look. So he had
That's
already
my
had somebody
man.
set up
That's my man.
to do her nails.
That's my
And she
type
was
of
like,
man.
he knew because she had like crazy nails that she didn't want for like pictures and stuff. Isn't that
Well,
amazing?
that's my type of man right there. Like, that's a good man. It's like the TikTok, I think we sent it to each other, where the girl was like, oh, all my friends
Did you
asking,
know?
like, were you surprised? Did you know? And her nails are like hot dog design. And she's like, obviously, I didn't know. My nails are
Yeah, she's like,
hot
what do you
dogs."
think?
On the same note as the proposal, I feel like the rest of the movie depicts the fiancés so you understand where we're at with them. And like Marion says it in the, she's kind of like the narrator of the movie at times, and she says like it brings out, you know, the best and the worst in couples. So we see like these montages of like Liv and what's her man's name?
Daniel?
Daniel, I think that's right. Liv and Daniel, and they're like, you know, looking at rings together and they're having a good time. And then it's like Emma and Fletcher, and they're like, he's yawning and he's always wondering when they can leave. And like, even when they're at the wedding at the beginning, he wants to leave and he wants to do this and like, blah, blah, blah. He's always wanting like whatever it's not, and whatever she's not doing is what he wants. And she's always wrong and she's always over the top and whatever. So it's just like, he sucks, basically, is what I'm saying. So the antics of this film are probably where we would have seen more of this rated R content, but they're so funny. It's so good. So they kind of just like go back and forth trying to like F each other up. Also, I feel like another one of the vocal stems we have sometimes is when Emma is sending the wedding invite and she's like, this is knit spam.
This is knit spam. Em get
She's like,
married.
Kaja. What is Kaja, Emma?
Kaja, Emma.
So funny.
Tacky. She went on a rampage. You know, when she's like, you have to know your dates to send out your save the dates. I was like, I think Homegirl was just like getting it ready. Like she knew what she was gonna have. Like, I think Anne Hathaway not Anne Hathaway.
She spiraled.
But, you know, Emma spiraled way too soon.
I agree.
And I think it's because she's so worked up about this wedding, and I think the stress of being like, I might not want to marry this man is like making it worse. Like she doesn't know that consciously, but it's somewhere.
And I think we see that unravel throughout the movie because like with all the things of them trying to mess with each other, like I think Emma is like learning a lot about herself, and like it's the first time she hasn't been in this like people pleasing mindset, and at no point in the journey of her figuring out her relationship with Liv and like kind of trying to ruin her wedding, like he's not really like ever supporting her in any way. He gives literally zero. He's not helping her at all. So, like, he does suck. I don't know how else to put it. Okay, so the antics of this movie. So they're obviously each messing with each other. So it starts off with the save the date is like what sends everything into a tizzy. And then we have all these different examples of them messing with each other. So, like, in the least extreme, Liv messes up like Emma's dance classes. She sends like Ricky Koo, love doctor or something, and then like their dance instructor comes later on, and it's like she had moved the dance classes, and then she puts like the super orange and her spray tan and all this stuff. I was going to ask you, what do you think was like the best / worst one that happens?
I enjoy the blue hair one just because her freak out at the end is like valid. Like I feel like everyone in that salon is like, oh shit.
When
And
she's
then
like,
it's
oh my
just
God,
funny.
is it good?
Great. And then she's like, and you're like, I'm getting married in a week. And
In
he's
a
like,
week!
congratulations. She's like, a week. And you know, it's crazy. I was thinking when she goes to work after and she's having her breakdown at work and she's like, my hair is blue. I'm like, you should have just gone in and been like, my hair is blue. Like, just take that off your shoulders. Like, let them know, like, the salon messed my hair up and I'm going to get it
Yeah.
fixed. I'm so sorry.
Or
Because it's
get
like,
like a
you didn't choose
headband or
that.
a hat or something. And she's so hungover, or she's supposed to be hungover from the night before. She's like, has to take her shirt off to put it on her head. It's a mess. I saw Kate Hudson was talking about the movie recently, and she was saying they showed her the clip when she's talking to the hairdresser guy, and she's like eating and she's talking and whatever. And he's like going to get her hair color. She said that was like all improv, her talking right there. And she said a lot of the movie was like improv, like she was like, I knew the character so well and felt like I knew exactly how she would be, which I'm like, yeah, this is a very Kate Hudson character.
Yeah.
That like she was just like ad-libbing at that part.
I know. I love that. And like, she's like just binge eating because she is so stressed out about her wedding, stressed out about her friendship, and then food just keeps getting sent to her. So she's just like eating. And I think even this is the point when she's found out that Emma has been sending her food. But so she's like trying to stay solid, but she's still eating. And then I just like how like the words she's saying with the food in her mouth, and she's like, "Can we get like a gold base, like more this?" And like I was just like, "Oh, this is so funny."
It's so natural. Okay, I want to talk about the food aspect of it all. Obviously, one of the things Emma is doing is like sending Liv these foods, making it seem like they're from Daniel, because she got this Vera Wang dress. And this again is one of our vocal stims, is that when she goes to try on the dress, the woman is like, you can't gain any weight. And she's like, you don't alter Vera, you alter yourself to fit Vera. Or what is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah. She's like, you don't alter Vera. Yeah, what you said.
You alter.
And like, and Kate Hudson's character has had weight struggles in the past. And she is like, oh, me lose control? Look at me. This is focus. She's like, I'm not gaining any weight.
Yeah. You see this?
So.
Focus. And also in that moment, we learn again what a people pleaser Emma is, because she's like wearing her mom's dress, even though she likes this Vera Wang dress.
That is weird plot line, because she didn't even ask her mom if she like wanted her to wear the dress. She's just doing it because she thinks her mom will be happy.
And then later the mom's like, I'm happy if you're happy. Like, I don't care if you wear, I already wore the dress. I don't really care.
Yeah, she was
if
like,
it gets seen again.
Is that my dress? So I'm like,
those are my jeans?
Yeah, literally.
The dress
and I was
is
like,
very...
thank God that mom had like a trendy ass dress back in the 70s, 80s, whatever.
The mom had a great dress. Do you have some details on the dress you wanted to share?
Yeah, so obviously Kate Winslet's dress is Vera Wang.
Kate Hudson.
Oh, who'd I say?
Winslet.
Oh, so obviously Kate Hudson's dress is Vera Wang. Vera Wang is like very prominent in this movie. I saw a TikTok last night that even like some of the dinnerware for the wedding that they're picking out is also Vera Wang. So I guess Vera Wang, like, shout out sponsor for Bride Wars. But you can still get the dress from Vera Wang. Like, and on the Vera Wang website, it's called Bride Wars is the name of the dress. And it comes in different sashes. I saw people on TikTok trying it on and like being like, I'm getting the Bride Wars dress. And in retail, like, it's hard to find the retail because on the Vera Wang website, it's like, book an appointment to see this dress. Like, we're not even going to tell you how much it is. But currently, it runs, like, depending on, like, the alterations and whatever time frame you need it in and everything, can run between $11,000 and $18,000. And I think I saw back then it was like $6,000 to $12,000.
Okay.
And then the fun fact that I thought was so interesting, though, is that Anne Hathaway's dress is also Vera Wang.
Yeah.
And it was custom made. I don't like, you can get something that's similar to it now, but it's not the same one. And I saw this TikTok, this girl talking about it. I think she might actually work for Vera Wang, but she was saying that Anne Hathaway's dress would have been probably more expensive because it's made of silk file, which is a very expensive fabric. And I was just like, and all the like ruching and stuff, the detail work is intense on the bodice. So I was just like, that's so funny.
I did see those details, and I was thinking when, like, anytime I've watched this movie, like, I like Anne Hathaway's dress better. That's more like my beat. But
my Pinterest board is so interesting because I'm manifesting love this year, so I've created a wedding Pinterest board, and like all of my wedding dresses have been looking like that on there. And when I watched the movie last night, I was like, oh snap! It's like I want the Anne Hathaway dress.
The dresses are iconic. Both Vera Wang. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the dress is available. They made it like a part of the permanent collection after the movie so that people could always have access to this, because I think probably a lot of people want it after this. I'm sure you watched, it sounds like you maybe watched this TikTok, the two girls that work at Vera Wang that watched the movie together. And yeah, they talk about the cups are Vera Wang. They're like, when they're drinking champagne, that was Vera Wang. But it's funny because they point out some like maybe some issues with it. Like when she tries on the dress, they say it's like 10 layers of tulle. And the girls are like, that's not 10 layers. And then like, they're like, oh, they just happen to have her exact size in the dress. Like there's no clipping. And then at the end of the movie, when she's getting married, it still has like the hand tag or like zipper tag on it. And then they also were like, because they knew Emma's dress was Vera Wang also, they were like, the shoulder wouldn't have ripped even if they were fighting. Like it's quality. Like it wouldn't rip like that. Those dresses are strong. And so it was fun. It was like two girls in their 20s, like Vera Wang Australia employees who were talking about it, and they put it on the Vera Wang Australia TikTok, which was funny.
That's so cute.
So, yeah. So, obviously, the dress... Okay, so the point of all that was to say the dress plays a big role. The dress is fitted to Kate Hudson, so unfortunately, her weight cannot fluctuate, basically, to fit the dress. Probably something that would have changed in the movie today, I'm sure, maybe, but at the time, this is what was happening. So, Emma
I don't think 5 pounds would
5 pounds wouldn't have
that
changed,
issue.
But like 15 pounds, she probably would the dress would not have fit. And wedding dresses are like fit to your body, it seems like there's not a lot of leeway. Anyway, so part of Emma messing with Liv is she's sending her these foods, making her think they're from Fletcher. This is one of my favorite parts of the movie when there's two of my favorite parts. When she comes to her office and she's like, ooh, Jolly Walrus cookie bouquet. Like she thinks he's sending her like a cookie bouquet. And then
I know, I'm like, does that seem on brand for him? Like, do you think he would do that? And also, like you're about to say what I know you're about to say, but I'm kind of like, you haven't been saying thank you like at night for the gifts he's sending. Like you could have found this out earlier. What?
So yeah. So later in the movie, it all comes to a head. Before the blue hair thing, she's trying on her dress and he hears her like screaming. She's like, oh no. And he's like, oh my God, what's happening? And she's like, the dress, it doesn't fit. And he's like, oh, he says like alter it or something. And she's like, she calls back to the thing. She's like, you don't alter Vera, you alter yourself to fit Vera. What is the quote? Because that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you don't alter. I think that was right. You don't alter Vera. Let's see. I have quotes pulled up right here. It's definitely in there.
It just sounds wrong saying Vera.
You do not alter a Vera to fit you. You alter yourself to fit Vera.
Okay, there we go. That sounds better. But so she tells him that, and he's like, okay, like what can I do? And she's like, it's what you can stop doing. And she starts listing these things he sent her. And one of them is the International Butter Club. And so one of my favorite quotes of the movie is like, he's like, babe, like I didn't send you any of that. That's not me. And she's obviously realizing it's Emma. And she's like pissed off and she like stalks off to the kitchen, whatever. And he's like, you mean to tell me you've been sitting around eating sticks of butter from different lands? And she's like, and that
And
is
she
one of
like
the
takes a bite of celery and like smiles at him like, yeah.
that
It's
is
been
one
great.
of the funniest lines in a movie ever. You mean to tell me you've been sitting around eating sticks of butter from different lands? Like, the different lands part is just like so funny. International Butter Club? The Jolly Walrus Cookie Bouquet. He's just like, girl, what?
And he's like, no, I haven't been
No.
sending you those things.
So that is like one of my favorite bits of the Antics. It's so funny.
So funny.
And then, of course, one of the worst ones is Anne with the orange tan that she needs to get fixed before the wedding. And I saw that she talked about, they were like, what is the worst color we could put her in to make the tan extra bad?
Yeah.
So she's in a yellow dress. She's walking down Fifth Avenue, like around a lot of people. So she really stands out. And she said she was like embarrassed kind of to do that scene because there was like hella paparazzi. So she was like, there's going to be tons of pictures out there of me in this damn orange paint, basically.
But at that point, it's like, are you actually embarrassed? Because like you're making a movie.
I know.
And like we all know you're making a movie. Like it's not like real life. It's like, why would you be embarrassed?
I agree. I think
millions
it's
of dollars.
Like
you're fine.
A lot of eyes on you. So, okay. Also, one of the best parts is my hair. My hair is blue. Like just the way Kate Hudson is so funny in this movie when she freaks out in the office. It's so good. But
yeah, they're like your hair, and I'm like, don't comment on
my hair.
Body.
My hair is blue. One of my questions for you though is, so she has that outburst, and then they're like, "You're dismissed," and then later on, so Liv's maid of honor is her assistant Kevin, who in real life is like a famous Broadway director.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. But in this movie, he plays her assistant Kevin. He when he wants to make sure Liv doesn't have to have a phone call with someone, he says Liv's dealing with a crisis right now, which Anne Hathaway's character knows. Yeah. Towards the end of the movie, they're calling. Well, we'll get to that. But towards the end of the movie, Emma calls to talk to Liv, and he says Liv's dealing with a crisis right now. She knows what that means, whatever. But she actually is dealing with a crisis. There's something going on in the office. She's like packing up her whole office. And this is the first time I was like, wait, did she get fired?
Well, yeah, because it's interesting because in that meeting, he says you're dismissed. So it seems like you're dismissed from this case.
The case.
And then that night she's at home crying and she says, I've never been demoted before. So I was like, oh, you got demoted from your job. And then it shows her packing up her office. So I was like, did you get fired? Are they making you move to another office? Like, what is happening? And then it, like, all of that. And then my final note on all that is like, oh, Emma, you got her fired.
Yeah.
Like, this is
that's
fucked.
bad.
And I wish they would have addressed that.
I think she got demoted then because she says that. That makes more sense. And then probably is being moved to like a lesser office and someone else got promoted over her, I guess, which is really sad. But I think, again, like these two girls, like a lot of, or like some commentary was about how like because they grew up together and they've done their whole life together, they probably had like, they're very like codependent and had some things they like discovered about themselves through this process of like being on their own and like being in this fight. And like Liv has been trying to be perfect the whole time. Emma's trying to be a people pleaser, and they've been able to like exist with each other in that way. And now they're like forced to see outside themselves a little more. And like for Liv, it's good because she can be a little more like open
loose
and herself probably. So yeah, the Antics are really good. Then we get into the actual wedding. Well, I guess I'll mention one of the iconic scenes is the bachelorette party scene when Emma comes in and does her like strip tease moment, I guess. It's really annoying, actually. Her vibe in that scene is quite annoying.
Oh yeah, that's my worst and
it's cringe peak. But
my
saw
cringe.
Anne Hathaway talked about it in an interview. She was like embarrassed by that scene too, because she was like, I'm not a very good dancer, but I thought she did good for what it was meant to be. But
Yeah.
she said that one of the parts that was cut was like she did a gymnastic flip onto one of the cops and then said, "Book me." And she said that's one of her, she was like, that was my favorite part of the movie and it got cut.
That's
Which like
funny.
maybe was one of those things that was a little bit too raunchy, perhaps.
Yeah, might have, how she landed on him might have been a little raunchy.
Yeah. So then we get into the wedding and wait, what was I going to say?
The weddings are currently on my screen right now because I have the movie playing. And while you're gathering your thoughts, I was kind of shocked by the theming of Anne Hathaway's wedding. I was like,
Terrible.
oh, are we
I've
like,
always thought it was so bad.
it's like a garden, like rose garden theme, but with like a balloon. What are those things called?
Mylar balloons?
No, like what
A
the
trellis?
Wizard of Oz goes off in. Like
A hot
like
air
the
balloon.
hot air balloon. Yeah, like the altar is like a hot air balloon. And I was like, oh,
They would not
what's the
do that at
vibes
the
here?
Plaza.
No.
They would never at the Plaza. Yeah, so we get into the weddings. We've had okay, something I wanted to talk about, I forgot, with the Liv's dealing with a crisis right now. So we've had like all of these antics. They've been like literally destroying each other's weddings. Like she takes her DJ, she gets her fired, the tan, the blue hair. They tell people that Emma's having a baby. People are sending baby stuff to her house. Like we have all this stuff. Liv, so we have the moment with Liv and Daniel when she cries after getting fired. And that's like, or after getting demoted, I guess. That is like, says everything we need to know about their relationship. They're going to be able to get through hard times. Emma does her big one at the bachelorette party. And Daniel, that's one of the hardest scenes to watch when Daniel is like, enough. No, not Daniel.
Yeah.
Fletcher is like, enough. And she's like, what? And he's like, it's all you've been talking about. I've heard that story 1,000 times. Like, you've been really excited and mad and energetic and like all this stuff lately. And she's like, what? And he's like, I don't know if I want this. And she's like, well, like, he's like, is this permanent or is this just because of the wedding? And she's like, well, yeah, I think it's permanent that I'll be like excited and mad and whatever in the future. And I'm just like, it's the first time she's showing personality in this movie and he's not into it. So it's like, you already know this is on the decline.
And I also like, continue. I'll sort of
well, I'm pivoting from there.
Oh, well, also when I love that moment too, when Kate Hudson's character is upset and she's like, I've never been demoted before. And then she was like, I've never felt so alone. And he's like, well, I'm here, babe. And like, he doesn't say it like, ugh, well, I'm here. He's like, I'm here. And she's like, she just doesn't say anything. And like, he doesn't get offended. Like, he understands, like, it's not about him. And he's just like, you miss your friend.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, oh, God. It breaks my
heart. And it's like, he just understands her. Like, yeah, like, it's just different. Like, I have my girlfriend who, like, just different.
And that part is so good because he's like, you miss your friend. And she's like, yeah, I'm mad at her too. And it's like, yeah. And that's like, they're both going through that. They're both so mad at each other, but the only person they want to talk to is each other, which is what I was going to get to next with the assistant being like, Liv's dealing with a crisis. She actually was dealing with a crisis. Both Emma and Liv are like trying to get in touch with each other at the end. Like, Liv sees her running and she normally wasn't wearing headphones, but now she does. So she's like yelling at her.
That part made me sad.
This movie made me cry like several times. And I don't know that it's ever made me cry, but it was really hitting me. And that was one of the parts when she yells at her in the park and Emma doesn't hear her. But so basically, like, as we're going into these weddings, we obviously have seen both girls kind of break down about what's happening, and both girls try and get in touch with each other, unsuccessfully so.
Mm-hmm.
That said, so we go into the wedding. We're at the plaza. The interior is not the plaza. The interior is a hotel in Boston. The exterior
a lot of
shots
this
were the
movie
actual
was
plaza.
Yeah, a lot of this movie was filmed in Boston.
And fun fact for that, because it was shot in Boston, in the shower scene, a lot of the extras are like the wives and girlfriends of the Red Sox.
I know, I saw that. That's so
Which
funny.
is so
Because I was
random.
looking up the restaurant they go to in the beginning when she's like, I'm engaged.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when they're going to a girls' dinner or whatever. I was like, what restaurant is this? Because I'm like, okay, we're in New York. And I was like, it almost looks like that Italian restaurant that we went to by the movie theater. And I was like, is it that place? Like, did it change names over the years?
Oh,
And then I looked it up, and it's a restaurant like Les Zygomats in Boston. It's a
interesting.
French restaurant.
Okay.
Well, we have been talking for a while now, so we're actually going to pause right here. Emily has to go get a facial. So we're going to pick this back up. It's going to be hours for us, but just mere seconds for you. But if you are watching this and we change our look, or if our tones change, or anything seems different, that's why. Okay.
That's why, dear listener.
That's why, dear listener. Okay, Emily, pausing here. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Okay, now we're back to gab
Welcome
some
back.
more.
I'm in a baseball cap now.
I got my facial, so I'm looking a little dewy.
And I
Shout
have my
out Stall
sexy water.
Studios. And I also have some water. And we're going to get back into it. We are finally at the day of the wedding. We get to the plaza. The plaza, not really the plaza. And we're having both weddings, same day, same time. I think last we talked, you were talking some smack about Emma's design choices for her wedding. What did you think of Liv's aesthetic?
I thought it was also like, ugh. Like there was
It's
like
kind
a lot
of
of
the
gold.
time. Yeah.
A lot of gold. And it's like I can't tell if they're trying to make it look like this is what a plaza ballroom looks like, or if that was her design choices, you know? So I can't tell if they like wheeled the stuff in for her, or if that's like the ballroom in question, you know?
To me, like hers was, I felt like was meant to feel more like what the wedding at the plaza would be, but
Yeah.
it's very gold. I feel like it's very like 2010. Like I feel like that was like a vibe. Okay, so the end of the movie, they both part ways to go into their separate weddings, and then this is where we see everything come to a head, basically, because well, they see each other before they're walking into their respective weddings, and then they go into their and that's the first time they've seen each other.
Well, they wanted to see each other before the wedding.
Yes.
And like Emma's dad went and visited Liv to be like, here's my blessing from my generation, because Liv's parents have passed away. So he's kind of like a pseudo dad for her, but he can't be there on her wedding day because he's got to be at Emma's, but he stops in to say hi. And the dad goes back to Emma and he's like, oh, I just saw Liv, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I want to see her. And like, I need to see her. And he's like, I think she needs to see you too.
Aww.
And they're trying to get to each other. Marion is like, okay, it's go time, brides. Like, let's go. So they don't have any time to do it.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Liv was going to do one last like prank or whatever on Emma by showing, because Emma's going to walk down the aisle with like a montage of pictures of her and Fletcher when they were children. And Liv was going to have the tape switched out to like a spring break video of Emma like super drunk and dancing and whatever. As she tries to cancel the video, she's like, no, don't play it.
Yeah. But the assistant Kevin is like, she'll thank me one day, and doesn't get the video switched. So we see Emma walking down the aisle, and her at freaking spring break when she's like broken up with Fletcher, she's all over these guys, is playing
but
on the...
I wanted to say, before they walk in and they see each other and they do that little like acknowledgement, I'm gonna cry because Kate Hudson's like where her shoulders like scrunch up. I'm like, you know that pose because you do it to people. And I was just like, I know that face, and I can just see all that emotion conveyed in like that little gesture.
So I was going to talk about that later, but we can talk about it now. That's my favorite scene in the movie. I sent you pictures last night because I was crying. because yeah, it's like they see each other and it's kind of like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, so they just have this like acknowledgement of seeing each other, and like the emotion coming from both of them is so good. And I know you don't like this movie again, but this scene is so similar to my favorite scene in Something Borrowed, which is at the very end. And Kate Hudson does the same thing. Like, she does the little like nose scrunch and like scrunches her shoulders, because it's like, it's just like it's such a like, I feel like it's such an endearing gesture of like, exactly what it means, but also you don't really know what it means, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, it's almost
it can
like
kind of mean anything.
I'm acknowledging everything we've done to each other, and then everything else that came before. Like, there's still like we've been treating each other like shit, but I love you.
Yeah. So that was like my favorite scene in the movie, and I was crying so hard last night when I watched it. But so they have this beautiful moment, but then Emma walks into her wedding and this fucking video from Spring Break is playing. She turns around, she busts down the door, she jumps on Liv. Okay. Iconic. And also such a telling moment. So they have this fight. They're ripping each other's dresses, like they're messing up each other's hair, like it's full on, like, I guess what you would call a cat fight. But what I enjoy about this scene, as I was like paying deep attention to it, is Fletcher follows Emma and he just stays in the back. He's not engaged. He's just looking at her like she's like the craziest person he's ever seen, which like to him maybe she is. And then Daniel and what's her brother's name?
Nate.
Daniel and Nate, Liv's brother, are like in the mix of it. Like they're like right there where they're fighting, and they're letting them fight because it's like they need to just get this out of them.
Yeah, and Nate is like, just let him go.
Yeah, Nate's like, just let him go. Which I want to talk about in a little bit. We'll come back to that. But that is like, okay. I feel like telling of where everyone's at this stage. Like Emma and Liv need to fight. Daniel really loves Liv. He's going to stand by her side. His brother's in it. And Fletcher is just like, he don't want all this. Like, he doesn't want to be part of all this. And spoiler alert, he doesn't have to be, because Emma gets up and is like, we shouldn't get married.
Yeah.
And like, she just needed to be with her bestie to realize that. She needed all of this to happen, be able to get back to being friends with her bestie. And then like, it all comes to a realization that she's like I feel like Liv was able to simultaneously kind of be focused on the wedding and be focused on the change in the friendship or the ruin of the friendship. Like, she was concerned about both, whereas I feel like Emma just like didn't really even care about the wedding that much. She was like more concerned with the friendship and the drama of that and like the changes in herself. So I feel like she realized like, oh, like she doesn't even want to be with him, and he sucks.
Yeah. And I just feel like with Liv and Daniel, there was already like a really strong foundation, and they both are like in it together. Whereas like if like Fletch and Emma both don't really care about the wedding, like there's problems.
Yeah. And, like she obviously cares in a way, but like I think she's realized she cared so much more about all these other things. And like her relationship with him is falling apart, which like she does like, care about, but it's like it's falling apart because I'm being more myself, so that is like not right. Yeah, and I feel like it's the same for both of them. Like again, they both were like coming from this friend, like their friendship hadn't evolved since they were little girls probably. So it's like this is like bringing them into adulthood and like the next stage of their friendship plus their other relationships. So like it had to happen for both of them kind of. But some interesting details about the fight scene. The Kate Hudson actually hit Anne Hathaway at one point, and Anne Hathaway was like bruised up and they had to get her ice and stuff, and it was like a big thing in that they talked about in like the interviews at the time, because people were like, were you actually mad at her? Like, what was happening? But like she had hit her at one point and the ring like I think like kind of like snagged on Anne's skin or something and like bruised her. From that, the fight scene was nominated for the best fight at the 2009 MTV Movie Awards, which I thought was funny.
What won?
So people like that. I don't know.
Oh.
I should look. Wait, let me look. The winner was from the first Twilight movie, Robert Pattinson and the James guy.
Stop. That's so funny.
That's awesome. So that was that. And then we have like the resolution of this movie. So obviously Liv gets married to Daniel. Emma does not get married. She's able to stand by Liv at the wedding. And that's when we get one of my favorite quotes, which is when they go back to walk down the aisle and Emma gives Liv the little bobby pin and she's like, "Where did you get this?" And she goes, "2 little girls saved it for us." Again, I was crying. That was crazy. And then I saw where Kate Hudson was talking about going back to the fight scene. She was talking about that when they're laying on the floor, that's her favorite shot of the movie. And apparently it was like, supposedly, according to my research, they were doing this at like 4:30 in the morning when they were shooting that scene. And she said, "We were both exhausted and teary just talking between Hudson's favorite shot. Yeah, it was like they were laying on the floor. They were exhausted. It was in between takes. And Kate Hudson said, "I love being girls." And I thought that was cute.
I love that.
So anyway, so the resolution of the movie, Liv gets to get married. And then we see Liv's after party. What's it called? What's a wedding after party called? The reception. Exactly. Thank you. And we get to see, finally, Emma and Nate come together. So this whole movie, we've been getting like Easter eggs of them having some sort of relationship. And I really like this. Like, I think this is the right move to have him in there. And like, when you go back, like when you watch the movie knowing this bit of information, I think he plays it really well. And it's Brian Greenberg who's in like, he doesn't get his flowers, but he's kind of in a lot of rom-com-y stuff. He's in Mindy Project. He's in Emily in Paris. He's in this. I think he's in one other like big rom-com that I can't think of. But he does the yearning well in this movie. Like at one point, Emma runs into him when he's going to get the tux for the wedding. And he says something like, they're talking about something and he's like, "Yeah, sometimes I feel like I wait too long for things." Yeah. And it's like, wink, wink. Like, he's talking about you. But I was going to ask you, what did you think of that romance? And do you feel like he was like yearning for her his whole life? Like, what was the tea there?
Yeah, I definitely think it was like he's always had a crush on her because I think he's the younger brother, so he's probably just like seen her in the house all the time, and she was probably like really cool and beautiful when they were young, and then always just like fell in love with her, always been in love with her. And I like the storyline because I love they knew each other when they were kids and then they fall in love when they were adults. Like, I really have mad beef with mom and dad by not like making sure I had like a male friend that I grew up with so that I would like live happily ever after with somebody that really does like me. So
literally, like, where's our man?
Like, yeah, like that's the problem. Because I'm like, damn, it's like you would just feel so much safer with somebody that you grew up with.
Especially like in this case where it's like their parents were friends, like they kind of have like a background check on all the family basically, and it's like but then it does get risky because it's like, well, it's your sister's best friends, or it's it's your sister's best friend, from his POV, so like it can be risky there's lots of ties, but I feel like it is a safer approach because now you don't know.
I know, but you don't know shit about nobody.
I know. What I was going to say about I feel like I know he's the right man for her from him when they're fighting being like, just let him go. Because he knows. He's like, they just need to fight and get this out of them. And also, every time he sees her, he's not making the fight weird. Like, never at one point does he make the fight weird, whereas Fletcher is like making it like the fact that you're in this fight. He talks shit about Liv the whole movie. Also, he's like, you shouldn't be friends with her, she's a bad influence. And he makes the fight like, he's not supporting her in it, and he's not being like, how are you doing? He's like, you're being crazy. And the brother, who's the person who could be like, you know, I'm not on your side, like, you're being crazy, whatever, at every point when he does see her, he's like, how are you doing? Like, I know it's hard on you.
It makes me think that they've done this before. Like, they probably had like some big blowout in high school over a boy or something, or like prom or whatever, and then they might have had one in college. And like how it's just like, let him go. He's like seen it before. He's like, they need to fight, and then it's all gonna be fine.
See, I hadn't even thought about them having a fight before, but that's a good point. And I also feel like it's just like, he knows, he sees them for who they are. He's like, they love each other. They just need to get this out. Like, what are we going to do? Pull them apart? No, just let them go and do their thing. So I really liked that. Shout out to him. And they're dancing at the wedding, which is cute. Then at the very end, we see like a flash forward a year later. Emma has married Nate. She's back from her honeymoon. Her and Liv are having tea at the plaza. Or drinks.
Your favorite trope.
Drinks, I guess.
You love a flash forward. You love a...
I love
like,
a
where
flash
are they
forward.
now?
Wait, how do you know I like that?
Because, like, anytime we watch a movie, and then, like, the couple of movies that we watch now, you're like, I just think it would be better if, like, we saw them, like, 6 months later, and we know exactly what happened to them. It's like, okay.
I don't like discrepancy. You know what movie it would have been great for? Sabrina. Because what the hell was that ending? It was, like, the worst ending to a movie ever.
It was.
No, but I like this ending because then we find out they're both pregnant and they're due on the same day, which is fucked up after what they've just been through. It's a funny ending. What did you think of that ending?
I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because it's like, oh God, are they in for more? Like, are we going to do this whole thing again?
Literally, we need a Bride Wars 2.
I know.
Which is like been like in development for ever.
Kate Hudson kind of talked about it in an interview. She was like, I always think about it. Like, what is Bride Wars 2 and where are they today? And I'm like, do it. It'd be so good. Anyway, so that's the movie.
Shout out to the movie.
And it was great. Shout out to the movie. I loved it. Favorite scene, like I said, it's when they see each other at the wedding. But I just have like favorite moments throughout this whole movie. Like, again, the teacher friend, she's so funny. And I feel like
I love the part when the teacher friend Deb is like in her room, like when she's getting ready for the wedding, the mom comes in. Mom has like a moment with her, and then she goes to sit down with Deb, and she's like, I'm gonna cry. And Deb's like, you're gonna ruin your makeup. It's like, what? She's so funny.
She's so funny. She's one of the funniest parts of this movie. And I just like when Emma is like, today's about me. Can you do that? Whatever. Like, can you try? Can you just talk about my bridal beauty? Whatever. And she was like, I would really like to try too. Like, she kicks her into gear. She's like,
she totally changes her whole tune. Like, she is all like,
the parents
like somebody knocks at the door, and she's like, I'll go get that. And she's like, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
And then when the parents come in and she's like, isn't she a bridal beauty? Because she's like, you can talk about my bridal beauty. And she like immediately says that. Like, she's just like, okay. And she's trying so hard, but you're going to ruin your makeup. She is so funny. It's so, and her facial expressions. Like, also when she's talking about it, she's like, is the veil supposed to be like that? Yes. The pressure we put on brides these days to look their best. You don't have to look your best on your wedding day, Mom. Like, she's so she has some really weird demons she's letting out, and it's so funny. Okay, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is, you talked about it earlier, I like how they did, so my favorite scene is twofold, because I like the opening and I like the scene when they're ring shopping, because I like how they do the pictures. I think the pictures are cool. like just the way they move and stuff. And I was like, when I was watching it last night, I was like, oh, I really like the ring scene because they're just pictures, but like we're seeing how different their experiences ring shopping are and how connected they are with their partner. Like they're showing us in still photos that Fletcher sucks. And their relationship is no good because he's like, she's looking at rings and smiling, and they show him like just completely disinterested, not even looking at them. And like, then you see pictures of Anne Hathaway starting to like get sadder and sadder in each picture and starting to dissociate. But they're like they're window shopping rings like in the Diamond District. Like they're not like even in the ring shops or anything. And then they show Kate Hudson and her partner like in Tiffany's. He's like hugging her the whole time. They're both smiling. He's fully invested. So I like that moment. And I was like, this feels like the midpoint of the movie where we're really going to see the downward spiral of like Emma or Anne Hathaway's character. And I paused it and it was dead ass the center of the movie. We were 45 minutes in and it had 45 minutes left. And I was like, okay, good storytelling. And then like those pictures happen in the beginning and the end. So it's really like beginning, middle, and end. It paces out the movie. And I really like it. And I like also, and Candice Bergen's, it's a voiceover in all three of those moments. So I just like how that's the storytelling style of this movie. And a thing I liked about the opening is that since they cast those little girls, like all the like photos of them when they were little are these little girls, so it's not like horribly photoshopped pictures of Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson, because that always irritates me how bad photoshopping is in movies, like when they do those like old pictures of people and stuff. It's weird. But yeah, I really like the ring shopping scene.
That's a good shout. That reminded me, like, speaking of that, of two scenes I also liked, which is not even the second one I don't like, but the comparison scene between like Chris Pratt, Fletcher getting mad at Emma when after she does her big one at the bachelorette party and does her little dance or whatever, and he's like, she's like, I can't even talk to you, or he's like, I can't even talk to you or something, and she's like, you haven't even tried, and he's like, I can't talk to you, whatever, like, we're fine, I'm gonna go to the gym, and he just leaves. Like, he doesn't even let her, like, he's like, we're not talking, period. And then I love the scene when she runs into the brother. I love this for many reasons. I love it because it's so New York, the way they have the scene set up of like her walking down the street and like coming off the subway and seeing him. He has his headphones in. It's a good setup. And then they go tux shopping together, and he's obviously asking her about the fight. He's asking her about the wedding, and she's like, basically says like, it's not as much fun as I thought it was going to be. And she starts crying, and she's like, and I don't know why. And I'm like, this is the conversation she needed to have with her man, but like he literally doesn't give her the space to. So I feel like those two scenes in contrast are so nice, because it's like, okay, this is like the conversation she needed to have. She gets to have it just with her future man. So shout out to that. Did you have a least favorite scene?
My least favorite scene is the bachelorette party at the bar when Anne Hathaway is like doing her big one, because it's like, it just gives me, it's my cringe peak actually, and it just comes off as pick me. Yeah, she really does the most, so it like just cringes me out, and it makes me sad. I almost wish that it was a bigger, like, there's never a prank, or and maybe it's a good thing that it's like this, but there's never something that the other one does to one another that if they see like an upset, like a moment where they're affected and they feel bad, you know, there's never like I feel like this is the one instance where it's like Kate Hudson's character could have walked out and been like, fuck this bitch, like, she's ruined my night, like, she wasn't even invited and she came just out to spite me, where Anne Hathaway's character could have been like, oh, I kind of regret this, because like we never have like a moment like that. I feel like any of the other things would have been that. This is like the tamest interruption to the
situation, you know? Like, this is the least impactful like thing that they do to each other, to the wedding and to their like overall friendship. So I think it's the only one that could have been seen and not been like, oh my god, I'm really sorry, I just saw how that affected you, you know?
Yeah. It wouldn't.
Because like, yeah, because like you're just like dancing at her bachelorette party, like it's like whatever, it's embarrassing, but it's not the worst thing. But like, if Emma had seen Liv's hair being blue and then her going into her meeting and being like, my hair is blue, she would have been like, oh my god, I'm so like, I just got you demoted, like we have to call this off.
Yeah, I need like her like person, her man of honor guy who works for her to like have said something to her at the reception, being like, yeah, I guess this is the last time I'm gonna be like helping her out for a while. And then Hathaway being like, what? Like, oh yeah, she's dealing with a crisis. She just got demoted because her hair was blue in a meeting and she had a crash out from it.
Oh my god. So the bachelorette party was your cringe peak?
Yeah.
My cringe peak is very specific. It's when they are dress shopping and Anne Hathaway is like, what's better than Vera Wang? Do they keep that next to the thing that's better than chocolate?
There's something about her voice. There is
the
something
way
about
she
her
says
voice.
It's like nails on a chalkboard. Is it next to the something that's better than chocolate? Chocolate?
And she's like, get the dress. Oh, do they keep it somewhere next to the things that are better than chocolate? Get the dress. And then she's like all pissed that she does get the dress. And it's like, well, you gave her the blessing. You gotta calm down. You've already picked out your dress.
Okay, yeah. So those were some of my least favorites. I have some just interesting tidbits of trivia to run by you. Candice Bergen, I don't know how you say it.
Bergen.
Candice Bergen was nominated for a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress for her role in this movie, which is shocking to me.
Weird.
I think she killed it. I thought she was great. This is like not a part that's Razzie worthy. Like I don't know. Like this, I don't know. It's not giving Razzie. Like it's not bad. It's not a bad performance by any means. And the character's not that like crazy or out of pocket. So I don't really know what they meant by that. So that was fun. Kate Hudson talked about in an interview, they were obviously like, first of all, the interviews were so dumb for this movie. Like, I feel like interviewing from the like 2010s was funky. Like, again, there was another man interview. And low-key, I'm like, you are the impetus for making Anne Hathaway hate interviews and be like rude to journalists at the time, because people were asking the dumbest questions. But this guy is like, he was like talking to Anne Hathaway. He's like, yeah, you know, like, I don't get it. Like, I'm a man. And he was like, as a man, like, I felt way more aligned to like, he doesn't even know the characters' names, which apparently neither do I. But he's like,
same.
He's like, you know, I feel more aligned with like the guy you're with, who's like suggesting the double wedding and da-da-da. And he's like saying all this stuff, and I'm like, you know, that's like the villain of the movie is Chris Pratt. So like, what? Anyway, that was all dumb, and I was just like, these interviews suck. But I did watch one interview where they were asking Kate Hudson, like, which is an obvious ask associated with this movie, like, oh, did you always dream about your wedding? And she was like, well, no. Like, she was like, I never dreamed about a wedding because like my parents aren't married. Like, that was just not something I grew up with. And I was like, that's so true. Like, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell famously not married. I know that's not her actual dad, but like, she talked about that. She was like, I was always around like a loving relationship, but it was never like they were married or it was like a big deal about a wedding. And I was like, that's so tea. Like, it just never would have been something that was like a part of her upbringing, you know? Okay, well, coming off of this, I did have a question I was going to ask you, because when we did Confessions of a Shopaholic, they were, like I talked about, they were kind of calling this year the end of the good rom-coms. Like, we had like really good ones like The Proposal, and then like not so great ones like The Ugly Truth. And it was just like a lot of rom-coms came out this year. Obviously, I don't consider this a rom-com, but I'm just thinking about it kind of in this genre of like movies I like. But I was going to ask you, what do you feel like is the best, most recent rom-com?
So you asked me this yesterday, and so I had time to think about it. And I was like, what even rom-coms have there been? And so I had to do a little Google. Like, and I thought of one movie off the top of my head when you asked that question. But I was like, I'm going to hold on to that one. I'm not sure if that's going to be my answer. So I went to Google and I was like, rom-coms in the last 10 years. And of course, like everything is Netflix originals and like Hallmark movies or whatever. Like all the Lindsay Lohan movies. And I was like, ugh, like this is, I guess, the new genre of rom-com is like these like quick release Netflix thing. And I think like maybe and like none of them have like the super staying power, I feel like. Like I think like maybe the one that might have like the most staying power of like the genre of movie is The Holiday. Like I just feel like
Love.
that one kind of transcends like the other ones. But the movie I had picked before researching was showing up on all the lists, and I was like, okay, I feel validated because I always feel like this movie is like something only I like because I feel like I'm like, where is the interest in this movie? Like,
I'm
I
interested
think it
in
is
what you're gonna say. I have no
yeah,
idea
I'm
what you're
really
gonna
building
say.
it up, but I'm like it's such a good rom-com to me, and it has all the elements, and it has real movie stars in it, and I'm like, it doesn't get its flowers. The Happiest Season.
Okay, yeah, you do love that movie.
I love that movie.
I think that's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a Christmas rom-com though.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. People are like, yeah, it's like a Christmas movie, but it is like a solid rom-com. And I'm like, yeah, I love that movie.
That's a really good one. The Holiday is a really good one. Like I can't wait till we watch that one. I love that movie. I know you don't like this one. I think Set It Up is one of the best recent rom-coms. That is really good. Like the plot is good. It has the antics of a rom-com. It's New York. It's like enemies to lovers. Like it has all the elements. And on that note, you haven't seen this movie, but Anyone But You, also starring Glenn Powell. That's like
Oh yeah.
very, very rom-com
See,
coded.
I'm getting to the age where it's a problem for me to enjoy stuff if I don't like the actor or actress in the movie. And so if I know that there's someone already in it that I don't like, I don't seek it out because I'm like, I don't want to spend 2 hours looking at this person and just feeling worked up the whole time.
And you don't like Sydney Sweeney.
I don't like Sydney Sweeney. Like it's the other day, I was like, ooh, I want to rewatch White Lotus because that feels like summertime. And I was like, do I want to rewatch the first season? I really like the first season, but I hate all of the stuff with her.
Yeah.
But I also just don't like that kind of genre of teenager. So that's like upsetting to me too.
Mm.
So I wish you could like curate TV shows to like just be like, leave out this storyline. Because there's other stuff I would do that with too.
I think when we rewatch Set It Up, you'll like it more. And then I also think you would like Anyone But You just because of how hot Glenn Powell is in it. Like, it's like, that's what made me be like, oh my God, Glenn Powell. Because before, I mean, I liked him in Set It Up, but it had been a long time since I'd really seen him in anything before I saw him in Anyone But You. And then I was like, oh, he's kind of corny, like whatever. And then I saw him in that movie and I was like, that and Top Gun. I was like, oh, okay, Glenn Powell, doing your big one right now. So,
yeah, he's really cute.
is there anything you'd add to the movie? Or anything you wanted more of or less of?
I did make a note that not even this movie, but just in general, I've said my first thought, like this was like my thought as soon as like Kate Hudson came on the screen. I was like, I don't think about this enough, but I really like Kate Hudson in movies. And then I was like, I feel like we don't have enough rom-coms with Kate Hudson. And then I was like, well,
I agree.
Have, like, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and like what else? But I'm like, and Raising Helen, shout out, love that movie.
Love that movie. Borrowed.
Something Borrowed. And I'm just like, I was like, so I thought about that. I literally did think about Something Borrowed. I forgot about Raising Helen though. I was like, okay, well, she's been in rom-coms. I was like, it's not enough. Like, we need more.
No,
Like, Kate
she should
Hudson,
be.
make some more rom-coms. Like, we need older ladies in a rom-com, please.
She, and not like old, but just like older
No,
than the
but
ones
like,
they're
we
picking.
don't need.
It's always like 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I need rom-coms about women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s so that I can aspire because I am currently in my 30s and that genre of movie is starting to fall off and I don't relate as much to the young girls.
I hear you.
So,
Kate
yeah.
Hudson is perfect. She brings the emotion in literally every single thing she does. Like, she does not get recognized enough for what she's done. And literally the moment at the end of the movie when she does the little scrunch is everything to me. Like, that girl can act, and she doesn't get enough credit for like these little moments that she does. And like her and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days too, it's the same thing. It's like these like subtle facial expressions that just, they give you everything, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I love that movie. So
Yeah, I just love her because she brings the emotion, she brings the comedy. Like, she's so funny. She can do the drama. She's got gravitas. Love her. Do you wish there was anything in this movie?
No, I feel like it's strong. Like, I feel like it's so good. I like everything about this movie. I did see where in some interviews Kate Hudson was talking, and like she was bringing up like a lot of like kind of niche comedy references and like having these like comedy conversations of someone who's like in the comedy industry, you know? And I was like, I feel like she doesn't get enough credit for probably how much she knows about comedy. Like, I feel like she knows a lot and is like very funny and like understands the industry and probably doesn't get her flowers for that either. So I just like, I love Kate Hudson. I think she's so great, and I agree that we need more of her. Did you think about how you would recast this movie for today?
I didn't.
I was having some trouble because I feel like everyone looks so young to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we jump from like everyone looking like they're in their 20s to then like look like, I just don't know. I feel like not a lot of celebrities really look like they're in their like 30s ish, which is like I feel like where we're supposed to be with this. And maybe they just look older to me because I was so much younger when this movie came out. But because of that, I was kind of having trouble to cast it because I was like, a lot of these things feel too young. So I just kind of threw some names at the wall that like normally come up in these conversations that we have. So I said like Zendaya, Lily Collins, possibly. Like Zendaya as Liv, Lily Collins as Emma, possibly. I also said like, I didn't really cast them, but I said like Zoe Deutsch and Sydney Sweeney would be like obvious conversations, I'm sure, for these folks. And then for I just put this because I was thinking Zendaya, but I kind of put like this would never happen because he's way too famous. But like Tom Holland for Nate. And then I didn't really like think too hard about this, but I was like, for Marion, and this probably wouldn't happen again, like probably too big, but like Meryl Streep or Cheryl Lee Ralph could be good Marions.
Yeah, that could be cool. I'm trying to think. Like Christine Baranski. That could be fun.
That's so good. Christine Baranski's exactly right. That's really good. I also was thinking
she's the wedding
Glenn
coordinator
Powell.
in the Eloise movie.
Yeah. I was also thinking Glenn Powell for one of the guys because like he always comes up. But I was like, Jacob Elordi and Timothée Chalamet wouldn't be right for this.
Trying to think because I don't really know any of the young guys.
Like Nick Robinson, who was in Voicemails from Isabel, like could be, but it's just like no one. I don't know. These guys they weren't that famous then. Also, did you realize that Steve Howey, the one that plays Daniel, is the dad from Off Campus?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Like crazy just in terms of like how time moves. Also, his character in Something Borrowed is so different from this. His character is the one who like the like skateboarding guy who like doesn't really have a job. And do you remember that at all?
No.
Okay.
When you said he was in that movie, I was like, really? I don't remember.
He's like yeah. It's like a really big part. Something happens and he's like, yeah.
I totally forgot to recast this movie, and now I don't have anyone because I think I'm like, oh, I'm kind of tired of saying the same old names that we always say. It makes it feel like I'm not researching because I didn't. So I'm not going to say Zendaya because I think I've said Zendaya two or three times.
It's hard because they're all like those would be the names of the people, you know?
What if the movie was Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter duking it out?
I did.
When is Sabrina Carpenter going to be in a movie? I feel like I need her in a movie.
She's producing that Alice in Wonderland movie, and I think she's going to be in it.
Yeah, she hasn't been oversaturated enough. I need more of her.
Laura, again, I just feel like it's hard to cast because everyone looks so young, and it's like not, I can't quite place like a 30-something, which is how old I think they're
if you can think of
supposed to
anything, dear listener, I'm throwing this out to you. If you can think of a name, let us know, because I'm starting to get old, and I can't remember the actors' names.
Also, I'm like, they are making this as a show, so like, who are they casting, you know?
Emma Roberts.
Yeah, I'm like, Emma Roberts. Like, honestly, Emma Roberts and Zoe Deutsch would be good.
Yeah.
My last question for you is, what do you think happened next? Like, do you think the pregnancy
Emily.
At the same
they
time
had
destroyed
babies.
them?
Emily always has to know what's next.
I want to know what's next. Like, do you feel like they were, do you think they fought? Do you think they were good? Do you think they're all still together?
Yes, I definitely think that this is a love to last a lifetime. I think that these fights happen at big moments of their lives. So I definitely feel like probably right before the birth of the baby, or like they had the baby and right before the first birthday or something. Something goes haywire and they have another fight. But I think that's just par for the course with these two. And I think that her husband and the brother, I think they know that and that they just let them. But I think that they're family, so they're always going to find their way back home.
What do you think happened to Fletcher?
I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass what happened to Fletcher.
That would have been a funny scene, actually, how there's that one friend who's always asking if there's going to be like a single guy at the wedding, and she tries to kiss the man of honor, Kevin, the assistant. It kind of would have been an interesting scene if she'd like gone after him. And then like,
yeah.
Wait, what are you thinking now? Like, what's your plan? Because she was looking for a man.
That's how the character is in another movie about weddings, Runaway Bride. Her friend, when she leaves Bob, she immediately goes out to him. She's like, Bob, here's my number. It's like, girl.
And they're kind of like a perfect match, actually, the two of them.
Yeah.
I had one more question I did want to ask you. What was your thought on this movie when you went in, and what was your thought when you came out?
I was excited to watch this movie because I love it. It's just like one of those iconic chick flicks.
As they love to say.
As they love to say. And so I knew I was going to have a good time. I knew it was going to be just an easy, fun watch. I was going to enjoy looking at it. Coming out, I was like, that was good. I love this movie. Like, it was just a good time had by all. Good. So one of the thoughts I did have watching the movie is I was like really sad because I was like, oh my God. Because at first when I was like, these women are glorious women and they're going to look the same. But when I saw it, I was like, time is passing. Like, they're still gorgeous and they still make amazing stuff. But I was just like, I can see the age and I hate it.
I know.
And I was almost, and when I was thinking, I need more movies with them. And it's like, it's so weird because like, it's like, I want more movies like this with them. But like, they're maturing and moving on to being like wanting certain types of roles. And I'm like, no, I still want from you this. I don't want these new people. I want Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson, my comfort people. So that's why I also feel like Kate Hudson make more rom-coms for us girls who liked you when we were young, and we need more content from you as we age.
I think she's working on it because obviously she's doing Running Point right now, which you need to watch the new season. It was so funny.
I started it and then something got derailed and I was like, I am not paying attention to this right now. I got to come back to it later.
She did an interview where they had her watch like a bunch of clips from all her stuff. And it was like How to Lose a Guy, this, I think maybe Something Borrowed, one other thing, and then Running Point. And I'm like, I feel like she's talking about all her old stuff a lot to the point where I'm like, maybe something's coming that like she
and it's like,
and she like produces stuff. Obviously she produced this, so I think like she's probably working on it, you know.
Agreed. I'm like, I don't need sequels to these movies. I would like new content, but that have the spirit of these old movies y'all used to be in, you know.
I know.
And like, yeah, Hathaway, I'm looking at you. Like, hopefully the new Princess Diaries movies like catapult her into stuff like this and not like anything sad and dramatic. I don't want to watch all that. Everything else
and
is
Devil Wears
dramatic.
Prada, like,
yeah,
they saw the success of Devil Wears Prada. Hopefully we get more movies like this again.
Agreed.
So some similar pieces of media to consume. I mentioned it a bunch, but I think Something Borrowed is a similar shout about a friendship falling out and whether or not they'll come back together and what that looks like. Also set in New York, also summary. And then I also said 27 Dresses.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to stop picking movies that are similar to 27 Dresses so that I don't fall asleep and wake up with 27 Dresses playing again.
Again, two movies that are bride themed, but yeah, I feel like they're both similar. Did you think of anything else that was similar?
Well, I mean, all the bride themed movies, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like when I think about this, it's like there's like no similarity in plot except for girlfriends who argue but then come back together for a good time call.
I love that movie.
Such a good movie. We're gonna have to do that movie. It's gonna be tricky though because it's very explicit. But great film.
No, it's not that bad. It's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that explicit. We can talk about it. Pretty easy, I think. Those are good shouts. Maggie, I'm excited to hear what's next week. Just to wrap up, shout out to Bride Wars. You did your big one. This movie did not get its flowers. The reviews were honestly kind of shocking and stupid. And I love that this movie's had a resurgence. It is one of my favorites. Of the movies we've watched so far, it's probably the one I reach for the most and will continue to watch. And like, we'll probably rewatch like in the closest amount of time to when we've covered it on this podcast. Like, that's how much I like this one. So like, actually,
this is
one
really
of my sister's favorite movies.
Yeah. Okay, so for next week, I picked a rom-com classic. I kind of went back and forth because I was really set on another movie that is a classic. But then I was like, this is not the right season for it. It needs to be.
Can I know what the other one?
No.
Okay.
Or I guess it's fine to let you know. It was going to be Little Women with Winona. And I was like dead set on it. And then I was like, no, I wanted to set the vibes. We're gonna go back to that like in December time.
Yeah, that has to be a winter.
So this one feels a little more summery, a little more light, classic. Do you want to guess?
It's
you get one guess.
It's complicated.
No. We're going even more classic. Like older. One more guess.
Not You've Got Mail.
Not You've Got Mail.
It's
Next week episode, we are going to be covering Pretty Woman. Woo! Julia Roberts, the queen of rom-coms and the queen of my sister's favorite movie for next week.
Woo! Speaking of Pretty Woman and singing that song, we didn't get into this, but the soundtrack for Bride Wars freaking bangs hard. And check out the playlist. I added like all the songs from the movie into the playlist. The soundtrack was so good.
I love that.
Yeah. Excited for Pretty Woman. Richard Gere doing his big one. Julia Roberts. So good.
So good. I can't wait.
I can't wait. That'll be so fun to talk about.
All right.
Yay.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. If you want more content or want to reach out to us, you can find us at anything that says My Sister's Favorite Movie or My Sister's Favorite Movie Pod. We have a Gmail account. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. If you want to watch us, follow us on YouTube. And do you have anything else, Emily?
I don't think so. Thanks for listening. Check out the playlist, check out the socials. Let us know who you would cast in this movie. And we'll see you guys next week to talk about Pretty Woman.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave you with a closing quote.
Great.
You ready? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was super appropriate because I love my sister so much. And this was a good movie. And I'm going to try not to cry, but I'm already crying. Sometimes in life, there really are bonds formed that can never be broken. Sometimes you really can find that one person who will stand by you no matter what. Maybe you will find it in a spouse and celebrate it with your dream wedding. But there's also the chance that the one person you can count on for a lifetime, the one person who knows you sometimes better than you know yourself, is the same person who's been standing beside you all along.
And that's the damn truth.
That's
And
the
that
G.
quote hit so hard, obviously, because we're sisters and we're besties. And I'm glad you brought this up. Can I just rewind a little and bring up something that I forgot to bring up that was based on this quote?
Yeah.
I forgot to talk about this because I was like, I need to save this for the very end. So this is kind of perfect. They didn't know how they were gonna how they were gonna end the movie. They couldn't figure out what exactly the ending was gonna be. And Kate Hudson told a story about her mom, Goldie Hawn, name drop. Her mom gave a toast at one of her best friend's bridal showers. And she said, men come and go. It's the girl sitting next to you that gets you through everything. And Kate Hudson told the cast this, and everyone started crying. And they were like, that's the crux of the movie.
Yeah.
So they decided to use that for essentially that energy for the end of the movie. And the quote
I
you
love
just
that.
read. Yeah.
And it's true.
It's true. Men come and
That
go.
that line made me
Sisters,
cry last night. That's when I finally got hit.
sisters are forever, and my sister's favorite movies are forever.
Yep.
Well,
All
I
right.
love you, dog.
I love
Happy
you too.
Sunday.
It's about to
Happy
rain,
movie
so I'm
watching.
gonna go cozy up with TikTok.
So true.
My best friend.
My best friend, Prue, and TikTok.
Oh, Love
Enable.
Island tonight. I'm counting down the minutes.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready. Okay, girl. I love you.
Okay. Love you. Happy movie watching.
Happy movie watching. Bye.
Bye.